Yolo High Wheelers baseball. From Dobbins Stadium in Davis, California, it's the visiting Oakland Ballers and the hometown Yolo High Wheelers. And Yolo, with various scenarios, could clinch a playoff spot today. Oakland, with various scenarios, could clinch a playoff spot today. And it's possible that both these teams could clinch a playoff spot today. So a lot happening here this afternoon as these two teams get set to meet in Game 2 of this 6-game series. Yolo a win yesterday, 15-4, and the High Wheelers are doing just that. They are rolling right along of late. Yolo has won 17 out of its last 20 games. So the standings look like this. Yolo has a 4-game second-place lead over Boise. Again, all you need to do is get to second place to get a playoff spot. So Yolo 4 games up over Boise with 5 to go. So rumor has it a Yolo win today, although not confirmed. There seems to be some confusion. But with a win today, Yolo, I have been told, will clinch a playoff spot, because even if Boise wins tonight, Yolo would still be 4 up over Boise with 4 left, and Yolo has the tiebreaker over Boise by winning that season series 10-2. So the Oakland Ballers come in, overall record of 55-36, 28-15 in the second half. Yolo overall 51-38, also 28-15 in the second half, which means Yolo and Oakland are tied for first. So today's game can mean a lot of things. A Yolo win, we have been told, gets them in the playoffs. A Yolo win also, and why not stop there? Let's try for Yolo to win the division, would then have a 1-game lead over Oakland. So a lot to be determined possibly here on this very hot afternoon for baseball in early September. Well, instead of Justin Kleinsorge, there was a switch last night, last-minute switch in the rotation. Reed Butts is going to get the baseball today for the Oakland Ballers, not Kleinsorge. So Reed Butts will start today for Oakland. His record is 1-1 with a 6.82 earned run average. Meanwhile, for the Yolo High Wheelers, it will be the right-hander Brandon McPherson. His mark is 6-1 with a 4.76 ERA, and this will be his 16th appearance / 16th start of the season. So, as I said, these two teams getting set for baseball here this afternoon. 4 o'clock start here on this Wednesday. Then we go 4 o'clock tomorrow, 4 o'clock on Friday, and then we go to 1 o'clock starts, 1:05 starts coming up Saturday, and then Sunday to conclude the regular season. So, as I said, we got a lot to determine between now and the next few days. All right, let's go to the starting lineups. First for the visiting Oakland Ballers and manager Aaron Miles. Again, Oakland overall 55-36 and 28-15 in the second half. Leading off, playing center field, Brett Carson. Dante Stewart bats second. He plays second. Noah Martinez is the first baseman, and he is slotted third. Hitting cleanup, the designated hitter, Brett Barrera. The fifth place hitter doing the catching, Trev Clark. Stephen Wilmer, he plays right field and hits sixth. Batting seventh, and at shortstop, Josh Leslie. Brad Burkell hits eighth. He's at third base, and batting ninth, making his first professional start, making his first start as a Oakland Baller, not first pro start, but first start as an Oakland Baller, is the left fielder, Tyler Best. And again, the left-hander, Reed Butts, on the hill for Oakland. So again, for Oakland and manager Aaron Miles, it's Carson, Stewart, Martinez, Barrera, Clark, and Wilmer, Leslie, Burkell, Best, and the lefty Butts on the mound, the starting lineup for the Oakland Ballers. All right, we're going to send it down to the field, and then after the national anthem, we'll give you the starting lineup for the Yolo High Wheelers. But now to the field for the anthem. All right, the national anthem this afternoon. A look at the Yolo lineup and manager Billy Horton. Again, overall 51 and 38 are the High Wheelers and 28 and 15 in the second half. Leading off and playing center field, Tanner Smith. Braylon Marine hit second. He's at shortstop. Bobby Leday, grand slam and 6 RBIs yesterday, and he bats third. Hitting cleanup and in left field, Jose Gonzalez. Braden Blackford is the designated hitter, and he is slotted fifth. Batting sixth and in right field, David Glancy. Alfredo Figueiredo, he is the first baseman and bats seventh. Hitting eighth and at third base, Kirkland Banks. And Angel Mendoza, he does the catching and bats ninth. And on the mound is the right-hander, Brandon McPherson. Again for Yolo and manager Billy Horton, it's Smith, Marine, and Leday, Gonzalez, Blackford, and Glancy, Figueiredo, Banks, Mendoza, and the righty McPherson on the hill. The starting lineups here this afternoon. The umpires for today's game, calling balls and strikes, is Eric Martinez. Bill Shortridge, he is the crew chief. He's the umpire at first base. And the umpire around at third is Dean Poteet. They are the Ron Adams assigned Pioneer League umpires for today's game. Ron Adams assigns the umpires for the Pioneer League games, which are played in California. All right, so as I said, we have been told that a Yolo win today will clinch a playoff spot. As I said, a little confusing with 3 teams involved, but that is what we have been told. And Boise is still on life support for a playoff spot. Boise did win last night to keep their playoff hopes alive. But remember, despite Yolo and Oakland, both could clinch here today, for that matter. So there's a whole bunch of scenarios going in. But as manager Billy Horton says, let's just win today and worry about how things fall from there. Brett Carson will lead it off for the Oakland Ballers. It'll be Carson, Stewart, and Martinez to face the right-hander in Brandon McPherson, 23 years old, 6'3", 225 pounds. So Carson to get it going. Left-handed batter, and from the set, McPherson kicks, and today's first pitch up and away, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to count, and we're underway at 4:09 this afternoon on a chilly 103-degree afternoon. The 1-0 pitch, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. So last homestand, we had temperatures, let's say, in the 70s, low 80s. Now you think you get into September, things are going to cool off, and it's been the opposite. Back up to early July conditions. The 1-1 here to Carson, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the game's first batter in Brett Carson. Now Carson, we saw pitch yesterday when the game got out of hand. They actually went 2 shutout innings. Carson at the plate yesterday was 0 for 4. 1 ball, 2 strikes as McPherson delivers, and Carson a swing and a miss. Breaking pitch in the dirt, strike 3. And he is out, 1 down to get things cooking this afternoon. And that'll bring up the second baseman in Dante Stewart. A couple of names that I have not mentioned, and I realize we just started here today, but did not mention yesterday. And before I forget, a couple of names who've been with Oakland all year are not here this series. Well, one definitely is not here this series, and that's Peyton Harden, who'd been the pretty much everyday leadoff guy / center fielder, left fielder. Harden, an elbow injury, which has knocked him out for the rest of the season. Tough break there, no doubt about it. Now it's Stewart, and he takes inside, ball 1. And that moves the count to 1 ball and no strikes. No score, top of the first inning. Yolo and Oakland. As McPherson again from the belt, even with nobody on, and the 1-0 to Stewart, swing and a miss at a slider. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And then Dondre Hubbard, a guy who's been one of their big, as you well know, Yolo fans certainly well know, power sources this year for the Ballers. Is the pitch on the way, as a strike called on the outside corner to Stewart. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score, top half of the first inning. Hubbard is not here. He's on the bereavement list. The kick in the 1-2, and that's outside ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dante Stewart. Stewart, 352 in his 34 games for Oakland. 6 homers, 16 RBIs. Grips the bat right on the end. The 2-2 slapped to shortstop right at Braylon Murray and up with the baseball, and an easy toss to Figueiredo at first. And Stewart is retired. Quickly 2 down. Top of the first inning, no score. Yolo and Oakland. And now the first baseman, Noah Martinez, comes up. But Harden, 82 games this year with a .319 average. A guy who stole 27 bases, play all 3 outfield spots. And certainly a jump starter to the Oakland lineup in that leadoff spot, but a freak injury, and he is done for the season. Now Noah Martinez, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1, and Dondre Hubbard, who'd been with them for 87 games this year, so really all season up until now on the bereavement list. The 0-1 on the way outside for a ball 1-1. Hubbard, 16 homers, 71 RBIs, and I know that's just part of the story. But anyway, Harden and Hubbard not with Oakland for this series. The 1-1 to Martinez. And an off-speed pitch taken for a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But, yeah, I did not mention that yesterday and definitely want to recognize those 2 gentlemen, both outstanding people, and obviously been a huge part of the success this year for the Ballers. The 1-2 on the way, and Martinez takes outside ball 2, 2-2. 323 for Martinez, a team-high 21 homers. He has 71 RBIs. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count as McPherson delivers, and Martinez swing and a miss. Pitch down to the end, strike 3, and he is out. A perfect first for McPherson, as obviously Oakland goes in order after half an inning. Oakland nothing, Yolo coming up on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. After half an inning, Oakland nothing, Yolo coming up to face the left-hander Reed Butts. As Tanner Smith leads it off, no score, and the pitch to Smith foul to the screen, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Smith, Marine, and Leday to face Butts, capital B-U-T-Z. 6'2", 190 pounds. He's 25 years old. Butts, this is his 11th appearance against Yolo this year. So Smith gets it going, and Tanner pop-up foul left side, strike two. So no balls and 2 strikes to Tanner Smith, who enters today with a .288 average, 12 homers, and 49 RBIs. Outfield medium depth and straight away. And the pitch. And Tanner takes strike 3. Breaking pitch on the outer half. He'd like that challenged. And it's been confirmed a strike. So Smith is down on strikes to open this one. 1 out. Now Braylon Marine comes up. So Tanner Smith leading off today. Just the second time he's been the leadoff man this year. He lit off in the last home series we had here. That was against Boise. And he had 4 hits out of the leadoff spot in that game. So normally we see Braylon Skinner in the lineup as the leadoff man specifically, but Braylon, he has the day off, or at least he's not starting today. So now it's Braylon Marine who bats. No score, and Butts delivers, and Marine takes, and that's low and in, ball 1. Ball, no strikes. 389 for Marine. He has 9 home runs, and he has 66 runs batted in. He was 2 for 6 yesterday. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. The kick and the 1-0, and Marine, a big swing and a high pop-up foul right side, strike 1. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 the count, and the pitch, and Marine takes high, ball 2. So the count moves to 2-1. So I gave you the average for Marine, mentioned 389, third in the Pioneer League in hitting. Again, 2 for 6, couple of runs scored yesterday. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. 2-1 on the way from Butts is high, ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike to count to Braylon Marine with Bobby Leday on deck. No score, bottom of the first inning on this, again, 100-plus degree afternoon. The 3-1 pitch, and that's popped up foul right side. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. And from Reed Butts, so the record for Butts this season, 1-1, 6.82 earned run average. So 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Butts' 26th appearance, his 10th as a starter. Mentioned 11th appearance against Yolo. The 3-2, and a swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Clark, strike 3. And Marine is down on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts for Butts to get his day going. So each pitcher so far today, with 2 strikeouts. And now Bobby Leday, who had quite a day yesterday with a grand slam and 6 RBIs. He bats at .325, 16 home runs, and he's up to 80 RBIs. Nothing, bottom of the first inning as Butts out of the windup delivers, and it's low and in, ball 1. And the count moves to 1 ball and no strikes to Leday, whose grand slam capped that 8-run 6th inning yesterday. Also had a 2-run double in the second, the 1-0. And he drives this one deep toward left field. Sends Best going back, and it is gone. And Bobby Leday does it again right on cue. Talking about his successful day yesterday. And so far today, he's been successful. Marine circles the bases, Leday circles the bases. 1-0 Yolo, his 17th home run, and his 81st run batted in. So Leday, back-to-back days in which he is homered. And it's 1-0 now Yolo here in the bottom half of the first inning. And now Jose Gonzalez will come to the plate. So Butts, that's the 11th home run he's given up this year. And now it's Jose Gonzalez who looks at a strike on the outside corner. And the count is a no balls and a strike to Gonzalez. Back-to-back 3-hit games for Gonzalez. The 0-1 and a breaking ball, and that's up and away, 1-1. He digs in at .378, a team-high 19 homers, and a team-best 83 runs batted in. 1-0 Yolo, bottom of the first inning. As Butts, 3-quarter windup in the 1-1. And that's popped up foul, strike 2, left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jose Gonzalez. So mentioned back-to-back 3-hit contests for Jose. He has reached base safely in 37 straight games. His last 37. The 1-2, up and away ball 2-2-2. Again, the last time Gonzalez did not reach base safely, July 20th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 High Wheelers, and the pitch. Gonzalez swings and a foul to the backstop. 2-2. So Gonzalez mentioned a .378 average. That's 4th best in the Pioneer League. 18 RBIs over his last 13 games. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With Blackford on deck, Butts delivers, and Gonzalez swings, lines this one foul down the first base side. So 2 balls, 2 strikes the count with 2 out, and a 1-0 Yolo advantage. Bottom of the first inning. Gonzalez 3 for 5 yesterday. He has a 6-game hit streak, 14 for 25 in that span. The 2-2, and that's up and away ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. So Gonzalez hitting .560 over the 6-game stretch. So 3-2 the count. 1-0 Yolo, bottom of the first. The lineup by Butts and the pitch. And that swung on line, left center field. And that's going to get down for a base hit. To his left is Best, and Gonzalez seeing that will hustle to second base with a double. As the throw comes in from Best towards second base. So Jose Gonzalez, now 38 straight games in which he has reached base safely. Obviously, for the moment, adds to his .378 average. And now it's Braden Blackford who comes up. Well, much like yesterday, and really much like of late, it's been 2-out run-producing hits for the Yolo High Wheelers. That second inning yesterday, the rally didn't start until 2 out, nobody on, when Tanner Smith walked. David Glancy a ground rule double, and then Leday a 2-run double. So now it's Blackford who digs in. And Butts from the belt. Looks back at second and the pitch, and Blackford swings. Line drive, center field base hit. Billy Horton will wave Gonzalez to the plate, and Jose will score easily standing up. It is now 2-0 Yolo, bottom of the first inning. As the center fielder Carson up with the ball, gets it in towards second. RBI for Blackford is his 62nd. Yeah, I was thinking that I was talking to Braylon Skinner before the game today, and Skinner, and I failed to mention this when the team was in Boise, and I apologize, but Skinner, during that series, picked up his 100th hit of the year, and Braylon and I were talking about the other High Wheelers who have at least 100 hits, as the pitch to Glancy is inside ball 1-0. And Skinner and I were talking about Braden Blackford. I said, Braden's got to have close to 100 hits, and it might be a stretch for Braden to get 100 hits this year. The last hit was at 91, was his 91st, the 1-0, and that's low ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, but in terms of hits of Braylon Marine at 124, Jose Gonzalez coming into today 115, Bobby Leday entering play 106, Skinner 104. 2 balls, no strikes to Glancy, who homered yesterday, and he taps one foul up along third. And that's strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike with a 2-0 Yolo lead, bottom of the first inning. Glancy comes up at .309, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. Home run for Glancy yesterday was his first at this ballpark. The other 2 were in the same game at Grand Junction a few weeks ago. The 2-1 from the set, and Butts delivers a strike on the inside corner, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Drawing a blank if I had mentioned the RBI for Blackford. If I did, I apologize. I'll say it again, his 62nd run batted in. As Glancy swings here, and he pops this one up. Shortstop Leslie drifting to his left, and now back of the second base bag. The shortstop, Josh Leslie, puts it away. Home run Leday, Gonzalez a double, Blackford RBI single, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the second, Yolo 2, Oakland at 0 on YouTube Live. We go to the second inning, 2-0 Yolo. Brett Barrera leads it off, and he swings at the first pitch, bloops this one toward right. And what else from Brett Barrera? Base hit to get the second inning going. Ball falling right in front of the right fielder, Glancy. So Barrera, Clark, and Wilmer, 4, 5, and 6. And Barrera, guy who wore out the High Wheelers in Idaho Falls a couple of months ago when he went 15 for whatever he went in that series at over 600 in that set. So Barrera at first. So Barrera, Clark, Wilmer. And now it's Clark, and he homered yesterday, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. And the count moves to no balls and a strike. Barrera was 16 for 25 in that series against Yolo at 640. Clark takes, and that's low and in from Brandon McPherson, ball one. So the count is a 1 ball and 1 strike to Trip Clark, with Barrera, the runner, at first. So 1 ball, 1 strike the count. And sidestep offering, and Clark swings, and he pops this one up. Second baseman Leday waiting for it, and just a pitch to the second base side of the bag. Not literally next to the bag, but he makes the catch. He was angled toward the bag, but on the second base side toward the back portion of the dirt. So Clark is out as he pops the second one away. Barrera holds it first. 2-0 Yolo, top of the second. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the High Wheelers. No runs hit, no errors for the Ballers. And now it's Wilmer who bats as McPherson comes set and delivers. And Wilmer goes around to the breaking ball in the dirt, strike 1. No balls and a strike for Wilmer. 277 as a baller. 3 homers, 15 RBIs as McPherson misses inside, ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike from Brandon McPherson, who played his college baseball at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. It's about an hour to the west of Chicago. Outfield around to the left here. Big hole in right center. McPherson, again, 6-1 this year. He's won his last 2 starts, both of those against Boise. A couple of wins against Boise this year. He's got a couple of wins against Oakland this year. His numbers specifically against Oakland, 2-0 in 6 starts. 1-1 to Wilmer, and a high chop, or a soft liner, I should say, to second base, and that's caught by Leday, a step to his right. So caught in the air by Bobby Leday, the second baseman, and Wilmer is out 2 away. Barrera back to first base. 2-0 Yolo, second inning, top half. And now Josh Leslie comes up. Now McPherson, games specifically against Oakland this year, 2-0 in 6 starts with an ERA of 5 even. But his overall numbers are better than that. 6-1, 4.76 earned run average. So now Leslie digs in, and the pitch to Josh, and he lines this one toward left field. It's going to get down for a hit to his left Gonzalez, and the left fielder gets the ball in toward short. So Leslie keeps the inning going with a single to left. Leslie coming in at 250 with 4 homers and 22 RBIs. And now Brad Burkell comes up. For Burkell, 245 average, 10 homers, and he has 49 runs batted in. Outfield medium depth straightaway. 2-0 Yolo, top of the second, and the pitch to Burkell. Breaking ball, called strike 1 on the outside corner. So the count is at no balls and a strike to Burkell. Just one of 2 ballers in the lineup today. This is the position player lineup, if you will. It's a pitch on the way, low and in, and that gets past the catcher Mendoza. That'll be a wild pitch, and the runners move up. So that could change things. Barrera goes to third. Leslie up to second. So now a base hit to the outfield could tie this game. The count is at a ball and a strike. So you look at this Oakland lineup, the only 2 in the starting lineup, I'm not counting the pitcher, but the only 2 in the starting lineup, the position players who've been here all year, Burkell and Martinez. Meaning who've been for Oakland. Burkell swings on a high deep drive to right field. This ball is going, and it is gone. A 3-run, 2-out homer for Brad Burkell, and that gives Oakland a 3-2 lead here in the top of the second. So Burkell gives the Highwheelers a taste of their own medicine. 2-out hit here. Now Burkell, that's his 11th homer. RBIs 50, 51, and 52. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but Burkell, I know, had a 2-homer game earlier this year against Yolo. I want to say it's about his 5th home run, roughly his 5th home run this year against Yolo. So about half his homers have come against the Highwheelers. Now it's Tyler Best, and he takes inside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Now, of course, Oakland and Yolo coming into today have already played, not already, but have played each other 31 times this year, played against each other. A 1-0 to Best, and that is high ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. So 3-2 now Oakland here in the top half of the second. Its first lead of the series. Outfield around to the left, the 2-0 to Best, and that's a strike called on the inside corner. So 2 balls and 1 strike to count. It's the 9th home run allowed by McPherson this year. 2 ball, 1 strike pitch, and Best a foul to the backstop, strike 2. So the count is now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Best, and again with Hubbard on the bereavement list and Peyton out due to injury. Best was signed. A few other guys recently signed by Oakland. The 2-2, and Best takes high ball 3. So the count now at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Best. 3-2 the count. 3-2 Oakland, and Best swings and misses high fastball, strike 3. And Best is out. 3rd strikeout for McPherson, but it comes at a cost. 3-run, 2-out homer by Burkell gives Oakland the lead. So 3 runs, 3 hits. There were no errors and nobody left after an inning and a half. It's Oakland 3 and Yolo 2 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. We go to the bottom half of inning number 2. It is 3-2 Oakland. By the way, I looked it up, and I did guess right. Talking about Brad Burkell, who just hit that 3-run homer for Oakland, which for him was his 11th of the year. And I looked it up. 5 of the 11 home runs for Burkell have come now against Yolo. Alejandro Figueiredo leads it off with the first pitch, and that is taken low outside, ball 1. And the count is a 1 ball and no strikes. Let me correct the count. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike, and that's outside, ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike to count. So 2-1 the count to Figueredo. Bottom third of the Yolo order. So Figueredo, Banks, and Mendoza to face Reed Butts. The 2 ball, 1 strike pitch, and Alejandro is swinging a miss at a breaking ball. And the count is now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Figueredo for Alejandro. Average of 299, 4 homers, 26 RBIs. Those are his numbers as a high wheeler. Remember, he began the year for the first month with Billings. 3-2. Oakland and the pitch. Figueredo hits this one towards short. To his left, Leslie gobbles it up, and the shortstop sort of Martinez in time. And Figueredo is out. 1 away. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. And now Kirkland Banks, who did not play yesterday. Kirkland comes up. Average for Banks at 270, 7 home runs, and he has 38 RBIs with a 3-2 Oakland advantage in the second inning. Bottom half of the second from Toasty Davis this afternoon. As Butts tucking the ball into his glove. The left-hander slides out of the windup. Middle of the rubber delivers, and that's low ball 1. A ball, no strikes from Reed Butts, who went to Valley City State University in Valley City, North Dakota, the 1-0. And that is low ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. I think it was about literally a year ago today. I happened to be in Valley City, North Dakota. No, that sort of sounds strange, but the team I was with last year with Winnipeg, we finished the year in Fargo. The 2-0 pitch, low 3-0. I remember after the game, I got in the car and drove all around North Dakota. You can tell I live a real exciting life doing that, but anyway, I was on my way to Bismarck and I had to drive right through Valley City and stop there for a little bit to check out the old school town. The windup in the 3-0 pitch, and that's down the middle, strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike to Kirkland Banks with a 3-2 Oakland lead. Bottom of the second. Butts in the short green sleeves, kicks the 3-1, and Banks slides one high and foul left side. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I was actually on my way to Bismarck, as I just mentioned, and stopped, as I said, in Valley City for, 45 minutes, and then kept right on going, and then it was the next day that I saw the capital of North Dakota. That's pretty much why people would be stopping in Valley City, North Dakota. Those Fargo to Bismarck, and you go through these towns, and that's where I was about a year ago. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. 3-2 ballers in the payoff, and Banks swings, and he flies one softly to center. Carson, plenty of room out there in the sun, and the center fielder, Brett Carson, he makes the catch, and Banks is retired. 2 men down. Bottom of the second inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland. 2-3-0 for thinking about North Dakota, for Fargo, for Oakland. And now the catcher comes up, and Angel Mendoza, 169 average. He has 3 home runs, and he has 21 RBIs. Outfield medium depth straight away as Butts works out of the windup and the pitch, and Mendoza a foul to the screen, strike 1. And the count moves to no balls and 1 strike. Mentioned Reed Butts, a guy who's been in and out of the bullpen this year for the Ballers, and he was not supposed to start it today. The windup in the 0-1, and Mendoza swings at a hanging breaking pitch and pops on up high and foul left side, strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes to count, but again, Justin Kleinsorge not starting today, so Butts gets the assignment. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. And a 3-2 lead for the Oakland Ballers. Butts last worked August 28th at home against Idaho Falls. It was a 9-4 Oakland win. Butts got a no decision. The 0-2, and strike 3 called inside corner. Freezes Mendoza, and he is out. 3rd strikeout for Butts, and a perfect shutdown inning for Butts. So 1, 2, 3 go the High Wheelers. We go to the 3rd. It's Oakland 3 and Yolo 2 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Moving along to the top of the third inning, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland, 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Yolo. Again tomorrow back at it, 4 o'clock Pacific time. And right around then, soon after, a 4 o'clock first pitch. So right in that ballpark, we'll start the YouTube live feed and the Flow Sports speed at 4 Pacific. Swinging a comebacker by Carson right off the mound to grab the ball, McPherson. And he'll run it halfway to first, underhand toss to Figueredo. And Carson is out, 1 down. So top of the Oakland order for the second time now. It's Carson, Stewart, and Martinez. So the center fielder Carson. He is now 0 for 2, 1 away, and Dante Stewart will come up. Pitching matchup tomorrow for Oakland. Right-hander Luke Short. And for Yolo, left-hander Brandon Mitchell. Name like Luke Short, sound like he'd be a country singer. All right, now it's Stewart, who is 0 for 1. And he takes inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. The rest of the series, Oakland is still to be determined. And then Yolo on Friday will be Ben Ferrer. Saturday, Brendan Knoll. The 1-0 pitch up and away, ball 2. But they're going to challenge that. Yolo's going to challenge that. And it's been overturned to a strike. So instead of 2-0, the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike to Dante Stewart. Stewart granted a shortstop in the first. 3-2 Oakland, top of the third. Each team with a home run so far. Leday for Yolo and Burkell for Oakland. Outfield around to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. And McPherson delivers, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Mentioned McPherson won his last 2 starts, both against Boise. His last start was August 29th in Boise, a 4-1 Yolo win. A 1-2 on the way, and that's in the dirt ball, 2-2. Brandon worked 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, which was not earned. 1 walk, he struck out 4. So his last 2 wins, despite Yolo's what seems like of late unstoppable offense, McPherson has been able to win low-scoring games, the 2-2, and Stewart takes outside 3-2. 4-1 in his last victory, 4-2 in the prior win he had against Boise here on August 23rd. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Stewart, who joined the Ballers a little over a month ago. The kick in the 3-2. And Stewart swinging a foul to the backstop. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dante Stewart. Played his college baseball at Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana. About an hour south of Shreveport. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big hole in right center, and the payoff. And Stewart takes strike 3. He knew it. Off-speed pitch. McPherson took something off it. And Stewart caught looking. 2 out, 4 strikeouts for McPherson. A 3-2 Ballers lead over the High Wheelers, top of the third. And now here is the first baseman, Noah Martinez. He struck out swinging in the first. Mitchell McPherson, 2-0 against Oakland this year. In fact, he had back-to-back wins against the Ballers July 23rd here and July 28th at Oakland. First pitch on the way, hit foul up along first, strike 1. No balls and a strike to count from McPherson to Martinez. 3-2, Oakland lead, top of the third inning. And Martinez struck out swinging in the first. Outfield around the left, big hole in right center. And the 0-1 from the set. Noah takes outside ball 1. So the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 the count. And the pitch, and Martinez takes, and that's low ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. But, yeah, hard to believe that, all these meetings between Yolo and Oakland this year, and then these teams didn't meet for a month. The kick on the 2-1. And Martinez flies this one to right. Clancy back a couple steps in the sun, and the right fielder makes the catch. So, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. 2 of the 3 innings today, perfect for McPherson. We go on to the bottom half of the third. Oakland 3, Yolo 2 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. On we go to the top half of the bottom half of the third inning. Bottom 3 we go. 3-2. Oakland leads Yolo. Top of the Yolo order for the second time for the center fielder Tanner Smith. And the first pitch on the way is outside, ball 1. And the count is a 1 ball and no strikes. It's Smith, Marine, and Leday face the left-hander and Reed Butts, who winds and the 1-0. And Smith swings and he bloops. It's one towards short and up to snag it is the shortstop Leslie. Nice play there by Josh Leslie, just on the lip of the outfield grass, using all of that 6-foot, 190-pound frame to haul that one in. So the former high wheeler makes nice play there. 1 down. Tanner Smith now hitless in 2 tries this afternoon. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. And now Braylon Marine. He struck out swinging in the first inning. And the pitch on the way to Marine from Butts, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Butts, his last start, as the pitch on the way to Marine, and that's flying high to right field. Wilmer going back, and now he'll straighten up in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. And Marine is the second out in the bottom of the third inning. The lead is 3-2 Oakland. And now Bobby Leday will come to the plate. His last start, let me correct that to mention his last outing / last start, was August 28th against Idaho Falls. 4 1/3 innings in that one, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs all earned. Walked 2, struck out 9. Now Leday swings, slices this one deep toward right, sends Wilmer onto the warning track and right in front of the 385-foot marker. He makes the catch. So Leday we don't see go opposite field much for power, and he came close there, but just that, close. So 1, 2, 3 go the high wheelers in the third. We move on to the fourth. It is 3-2 Oakland leading Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo as we move on to the top half of the 4th inning. And Brett Barrera to lead it off for the Oakland Ballers. It'll be Barrera, Clark, and Wilmer. 4, 5, and 6 to face McPherson. And it was Barrera who got the second inning going with a single. And then after that, McPherson got the next 2 out. But then it was trying to get that third out, which was trouble for McPherson, who delivers, and Barrera a high fastball, swing, and a miss, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, because then Josh Leslie singled to left with 2 out, and then Burkell the 3-run homer, and that's the difference right now with a 3-2 Oakland lead. The 0-1 to Barrera, and he takes a strike on the outer half. So strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to big right-handed batter in Barrera, 6'2", 215 pounds. 23 years old for Barrera, acquired a few weeks ago from Idaho Falls. The 0-2, and he swings on a foul to the backstop. So no balls and 2 strikes. I was talking about Barrera, 16 for 25 in that series against Yolo in Idaho Falls back in late June. No balls, 2 strikes the count. And the right-handed McPherson deals from the belt, and Barrera stays alive and fouls into the screen. And the count holds at no balls and 2 strikes with a 3-2 Oakland advantage over Yolo. Top of the 4th inning. And I was talking to Jerome Williams, Yolo pitching coach, about that. I said, you saw Barrera a couple months ago. What's the key to holding him? The 0-2. And he swings, line drive left field, base hit for Barrera. So another hit for Barrera against Yolo. Had 1 hit yesterday, 2 more today, as left fielder Gonzalez gets the ball back in. Jerome Williams says, you know what? He gave Barrera his due, but he says, our pitchers are different 2 months later. Our pitching's been better. Our offense has been better. And, of course, Barrera's with a different team than Idaho Falls. Now, granted, Oakland is a better team, or at least Oakland for the most part this year has been. As Trip Clark takes outside, ball 1-0. But he said, bottom line, Jerome kept telling him, you know what, our pitchers are a lot better now than they were then. We're a different team in a much better way, Jerome was saying. And says, I think that might be able to get to Barrera a little bit. The 1-0 pitch, and that's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. But Barrera still, regardless who's been in a High-Wheeler uniform or whatever uniform Barrera's been wearing, has been able to still to get to the High-Wheelers. The 1-1 to Clark, and he lines this one toward left, but on comes Gonzalez, and Jose will be there to make the catch. And Clark is out. Second time he's been retired, now for 2. Barrera holds at first base, 3-2 Oakland, top of the 4th. And now Stephen Wilmer will come up. But Barrera yesterday was 1 for 3. Today, 2 for 2. So far 3 for 5 in this series. But still, he's 19 for 31 this year against Yolo. So now Wilmer hit a soft looper to the second baseman, Leday, his first time. And Wilmer takes low and in, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So Barrera is hitting .613 against Yolo this year. 1 ball, no strikes the count. 3-2 in favor of the Ballers. Top of the 4th inning. And Barrera, the runner at first base. 3 steals in an Oakland uniform this year for Barrera. Now 1 ball, no strikes. Turn throw to first. Figueredo there to take it. And Barrera back safely standing up. So Wilmer, and coming over in that trade just over a month ago from Rocky Mountain. Talked a lot about that trade. Talked about it yesterday, that is. 1 ball, no strike pitch. And with Barrera going, Wilmer is swinging a foul to the screen, strike 2. And the count is a 1 ball and 2 strikes with a 3-2 Oakland advantage over Yolo, top of the 4th. Wilmer, Brett Carson, Kyle Pazagic, pitcher coming over from Rocky Mountain, the 1-1. Up and away, ball 2, 2-1. Trade that sent outfielders Austin Davis and Trevor Halsema over to Rocky Mountain. High Wheelers were the first opponent that Davis and Halsema saw with Rocky Mountain, as if they didn't see Yolo enough with Oakland. 2-1 the count. And the pitch to Wilmer, and that's ripped down the right field side, and that's going to be a base hit. Barrera touches second. He is on his way to third, and he'll go in there safely with a slide, and Wilmer has a single. So the right fielder, Glancy, moving to his left, getting in the ball, going to get in towards second. And now Oakland in one-out business, first and third, 3-2 Ballers, fourth inning, top half. And the shortstop, Josh Leslie, who kept that second inning alive to allow Burkell to hit that 3-run homer. He'll bat next, but pitching coach Jerome Williams with a deliberate walk to the mound. And settle down McPherson a little bit and bring the infield in as well. I say the infield in, I don't mean the infield in playing in, but the infield in to have a discussion on the mound. So 5 hits now for Oakland. So Wilmer, a base hit. I was talking with Yolo first baseman Alejandro Figueiredo, who's about to hold Wilmer on at first base, and Figueiredo and Wilmer teammates for 3 years at Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers, Division I program in the Atlantic Sun. That's the name of the conference. I can see Figueiredo going over there and talking to Wilmer, and he said, yeah, you know, we got there at the same time, and teammates there for 3 years. I know him pretty well, know him just about as well as anybody. Now it's Leslie, and he takes outside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Barrera's at third, Wilmer's at first, and McPherson would love a ground ball right at one of his infielders here. 3-2 in favor of Oakland. But the Ballers threatening here in the top of the fourth, and the pitch to Leslie goes down for that one and misses. And that is a strike. And the count is a 1 ball and 1 strike. So Wilmer, the runner at first base. Barrera, he is at third. And the 1-1 pitch to Leslie. He swings and fouls into the plate, strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Wilmer, 1 steal as a member of the Ballers. He has not been caught. Runners at the corners, and McPherson could use a strikeout here. And the pitch to Leslie, and that's low and in, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leslie, who's been certainly getting the California tour this year, the Northern California tour this year for Leslie. Third different team for him in this part of the state, which began here with Yolo. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Turn throw to first. Wilmer back safely with a dive. Figueiredo there to take it. 3-2 Oakland leading Yolo. We're in the top half of the fourth inning. Leslie was let go after just a couple of games by the High Wheelers and signed in the Pecos League with Marysville just up the road. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Leslie stays alive and pops one up foul right side. Defensive 2 strike swing. 2-2 the count. And then after, I don't know how many games he played with Marysville. Let's say he was there probably for a month and a half. Signed by the Oakland Ballers. Barrera at third, Wilmer at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, and Leslie takes, that's up and away. Count is now at 3 balls and 2 strikes with Burkell wetting on deck. So 3-2 the count. Middle infield looking to turn 2. As McPherson, first base side of the rubber, ready to go. The 3-2, and Leslie swings and misses strike 3, and he is out. So breaking pitch in the dirt, and Leslie comes up empty. I know Leslie's trying to protect, but McPherson, good job right there. Knew Leslie was going to try and chase, and Leslie missed it. It's also a good block there by the catcher Mendoza. I mean, yeah, Leslie was out no matter what, but if that ball got past Mendoza, then a run more than likely would have scored. So Leslie is out, so 2 away. 5 strikeouts for McPherson. And now it's Burkell, who was major 2-out trouble last time. Well, similar spot here, 2 out, 2 on for Burkell. And the pitch to Brad. Grounded into right field. A base hit. He does it again. Barrera scores. Rounding second is Wilmer. And he'll go to third as the right fielder Glancy gets the ball in towards second. And it's now 4-2 Oakland. And Brad Burkell, a 4 RBI game. All the RBIs, all the scoring for Oakland today have come with 2 out. And it's all been Burkell, who now has 4 RBIs this afternoon. And it's now 4-2 in favor of the Ballers. And now it's Tyler Best who's 0 for 1. And he takes a strike from McPherson on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Well, the last 2 games, each of these teams has had a player in the 8th spot who's been doing the damage, the 0-1. And that's a Denise strike, 2-0-2. Yesterday was Bobby Leday for Yolo with 6 RBIs out of the 8th spot. Today it's Burkell for Oakland with 4 runs batted in out of that spot. Runners at the corners, 4-2 now Oakland, top of the 4th. There goes Burkell. Pitch taken low and no throw down from the catcher Mendoza. So give Burkell a stolen base. Our steal for Burkell is his 13th this year. And the count is now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now runners at second and third. Force is non-existent. And the 1-2 pitch. And Best takes, and that is low ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. And now, of course, the base hit to the outfield could mean 2 more runs. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Tyler Best. And just his second game as a member of the Oakland Ballers. Talking about Best, who again grew up in the Boise area. Best coming over from his season's been done for a while, about a month. Coming over from the Martinez Sturgeon in the Pecos League. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that's low ball 3. And the count now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3-2 the count now. With a 4-2 Oakland advantage. Visitors half of the 4th inning. Runners at second and third, the 3-2, and Best swings and a tapper foul at the plate. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, Burkell today is not his first 4 RBI game. He had 4 RBIs August 21st at Northern Colorado. Had a 5 RBI game June 1st at Rocky Mountain. And that same series, a 4 RBI game May 29th at Rocky Mountain. So 4th game this year for Burkell of at least 4 RBIs. The 3-2 pitch. And Best, a big swing and a pop-up foul right side. So Best hanging in there against McPherson. And the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. So Wilmer is at third. Burkell is at second. Oakland 4, Yolo 2. Big moment here, top of the 4th inning. With runners at second and third and 2 out in the 3-2. And Best swings, and he flies this one high to left field. Gonzalez back toward the track, and he'll square up to make the catch. So Best just got underneath that one, and he is retired. But Burkell does it again. Another 2-out run-producing situation for Burkell. Had an RBI single here in the 4th. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. After 3.5 innings, it's Oakland 4 and Yolo 2 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. tell of at least 4 RBIs. Fantastic, thank you. Yes, 5 of his homers have come against Yolo.
Most recent game must have been a no-co.
Yeah, that sounds. He had 2 at Rocky Mountain, 1 in NoCo.
That's right, yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, we can post this.
Yeah.
So then you do a scoring update in this post too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's covered all in one subject. So I'm just asking for information, so I yeah, so I just do a score thing. You see, like currently, Boise is ready. You know, it might be 3-4 innings, so I would just gear it up to say like 3-4 innings, score.
Moving along to the bottom half of the 4th inning. 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for Oakland. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Yolo. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. So the High Wheelers got off to a good start. 2 runs in the first, but it's been the Brad Burkell show for Oakland. A 3-run homer and an RBI single, all with 2 out. So 4-2 Oakland, and now Jose Gonzalez a foul to the backstop, strike 1. No balls and a strike to Gonzalez, who doubled and scored in that first inning for the High Wheelers. So Reed Butts, who started the game for the Ballers, still out there. A windup in the 0-1, and Gonzalez swings, and he flies one toward right center. Wilmer to his right, and he'll be there in the sun to make the catch. And Gonzalez is out, 1 down. And now it's Braden Blackford, who had an RBI single in the first inning. So since that hit by Blackford in the first, Butts has set down the last 8 High Wheelers. 4-2 Oakland. So here we are again. This is the 32nd meeting this year between these 2 teams. Oakland leads the season series 16-15. Now Blackford, and he takes low ball 1 from Butts. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. And who knows, these teams very easily could see each other next week in the postseason. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. Butts delivers, and Blackford takes. That's a strike on the inside corner. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike from Reed Butts, who winds and the pitch, and Blackford takes, and that's outside ball 2. And the Ballers have challenged, and they win the challenges. They win the challenge, so the count to Blackford is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count to Braden Blackford from Reed Butts, who winds and the pitch. And Blackford goes too far, and he is out. Pitch down and away, and he strikes out swinging on the appeal, says third base umpire Dean Poteet. So Blackford is down on strikes. And now David Glancy comes up. So now it's David Glancy who comes up. He popped a shortstop in the first inning. 4-2 lead for the Oakland Ballers, and the pitch. And Glancy swings and drives one down the left field side, foul, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. Oh, and 1 the count to Glancy. And the pitch on the way, and that's taken high for a ball. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 9 in a row now set down by Butts. 1-1 the count. And a 4-2 advantage for the Ballers, and Glancy swings. Tapper foul up along third. And the count holds at 1-2 strikes. Yolo managed by Billy Horton. He is the third base coach. And coaching over at first base, the bench coach, Gary Davenport. So 1-2 the count to Glancy. Third homer of the year yesterday. So 1-2 strikes. The windup and the pitch. And Glancy, a ground ball foul up along third. And the count remains at 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count to Glancy. High Wheelers in the black uniforms today, the black shirts that is. Orange number on both sides, white pants. Yolo logo on the left side of the shirt. The alternate shirts essentially today, going with the black caps. 1-2 to Glancy, and he swings when he pops this one up. Shallow right field. Wilmer comes in, and he stays with it to make the catch. So Wilmer, good job there. That ball, well, I guess what goes up is going to come down, but able to stay with it to make the grab. So Butts, after that first inning, now 3 straight perfect innings, and now 10 in a row set down. We go to the 5th, 4-2. Oakland leads Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind. Then would you be able to? If I could, then easily. Okay. We go to the 5th inning this afternoon, top of the Oakland order for the third time. It's the center fielder, Brett Carson. We start, as I said, the 5th. 4-2 now, Oakland. And Brandon McPherson ready to go, delivers. And Carson swings and slaps this one down the left field side toward the corner, and that's a fair ball. Gonzalez has to track the ball down near the base of the 10-foot wall, and Carson in the second with a leadoff stand-up double. So Carson, that's his first hit of the series. He's now 1 for 3 today, hit number 7 for the Ballers, who have a 4-2 lead. And now Dante Stewart will come to the plate, and after Stewart, it's Martinez. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Ballers, 2-3-0 for the High Wheelers. And now it's Stewart who comes up. He grounded a short and struck out looking. Outfield around to the left. And the pitch, and Stewart takes, and that is low ball 1 from McPherson. A ball, no strikes. McPherson, a 4-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, and a slider for the second-year pro. Who was with Billings last year in the Pioneer League, the 1-0. And Stewart swings on a high, deep drive toward left field. Sends Gonzalez going back. He leaps, and it is gone. Dante Stewart widens the lead now. It is 6-2 Oakland in the top half of the 5th. So instead of waiting until 2 outs, Oakland hits one out with nobody out here in the top half of the 5th. And now you look up, next thing you know, it is now 6-2 in favor of the Ballers. Stewart's 7th home run with Oakland, RBI 17 and 18. Third home run combined between these two teams today. Burkell and Stewart go deep for Oakland. Leday's gone deep for Yolo. Now it's Martinez who rips this one down the right field side. That's going to be in, likely for extra bases. Played at the base of the wall by Glancy, and Martinez hustles in the second with a slide. He's got a double, and the Ballers are getting to McPherson often here in this fifth inning. Martinez, that is his first hit today, and now Brett Barrera comes up. Ninth hit now for the Ballers, who have a 6-2 lead. First hit of the series for Martinez. Is now 1 for 7 of the first game and a half. Now Barrera has been a part of the two prior rallies for the Ballers. He comes up and he swings and chops one towards short. Big bounce for Marine. Long throw across to Figueiredo. And Barrera is retired. Not something that I have said too often this year. At least, I guess the only time I would be seeing Barrera would be games against Yolo. Martinez stays at second. 6-2 in favor of the Oakland Ballers. Top of the fifth inning, and now Trip Clark will come up. So again, 9 hits now allowed by McPherson. Most hits he's given up this year is 10. July 17th here against Oakland. Game in which the Highwheelers won in a knockout round. Now the pitch on the way to Clark, and that's low inside, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. So 6-2 Ballers, top half of the fifth. To Trip Clark, and the pitch on the way, and that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Clark, who is originally from Waco, Texas. Again, went to college at Angelo State in San Angelo, the 2-0. And that misses outside, ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes, the count to Trip Clark, who was a first-team All-American player at the Division II level this year for Angelo State, a team that lost in the NCAA Division II championship, the D2 World Series, lost to the University of Tampa. 3 balls, no strikes, the count with 1 out. 6-2 Oakland, top of the fifth inning. So Martinez at second base. Clark 0 for 2 today. Big right-handed batter, 6'3", 220 pounds. And the 3-0, and Clark takes. That's a strike on the inside corner. So the count is now at 3 balls and a strike. Clark was a third-team All-American, according to the American Baseball Coaches Association. 3 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch takes down the middle. Strike 2, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3-2 the count. Clark was second in the RBIs of the Division II level this past year with 88, and 8th in the country at the D2 level in average. He had 445 for the Rams. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count, and now McPherson steps off the rubber. Oakland 6, Yolo 2, top half of the fifth inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the payoff, and Clark swinging a pop-up foul right side. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Trip Clark, who had his first pro hit against the Highwheelers back in late July when we were in Oakland. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to count with 1 out. And now Mendoza, the catcher, will come out and talk to McPherson. And I think I had mentioned that he was a third-team All-American. He was a first-team All-American. It was his third time being honored as a first-team All-American. So he was a 3-time first-team All-American at Angelo State. I guess you put up numbers like that, you're not going to be on the third team, but you might win that honor for the third time. That's what it was, so I wanted to rephrase that. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to count with 1 out to Trip Clark with Wilmer on deck. Runner at second base, Martinez. 6-2 Oakland and the pitch, and Clark swings, drives this one toward left center. That's going to get down for a hit. Rounding third is Martinez. He will score. It's now 7-2 Oakland. They've added 3 more runs here as the left fielder Gonzalez gets the ball back in towards second. Again, we cannot see either bullpen here if anybody is warming up, but I'd have to think that the High Wheelers do have somebody getting loose because, unfortunately for McPherson, the ballers are really getting to him. These aren't balls that have been falling in or jam shots, unfortunately, for Brandon McPherson. Clark, RBI number 18, is a member of the Ballers. And now it's Wilmer. And he takes a strike, or takes a ball, I should say, outside ball one. 1 ball, no strike. So 7-2 now Oakland. Top of the 5th. Still only 1 out. Clark at first, being held on by Figueredo. And Wilmer takes an off-speed pitch. That's a strike called on the outer half. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 the count. And the pitch. And Wilmer takes, and that's a strike on the inner half. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Josh Leslie on deck. 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the visiting Ballers. 2-3 and over the hometown High Wheelers. And the pitch to Wilmer, foul to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So the 10 hits now allowed by McPherson. That matches the most he has allowed this season. Most hits allowed in 1 game by a High Wheeler pitcher this year is 12. Dawson Lane, game 1 of a double here on July 10th. Doubleheader here against Rocky Mountain. Wilmer drives this one down the right field line toward the corner, and that is just foul. So the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7-2 Oakland leading Yolo. Top of the 5th. Dobbins Stadium, 3:10 down the lines, and Wilmer, where he hit that ball, just to the right of that 310-foot marker toward the base of the foul pole. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count with a 7-2 advantage for Oakland. So you have 310 down the lines, 385 to the gaps, and 410 to straightaway center. The 1-2 swing and a foul to the backstop. Just a soft defensive swing to the screen. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 10-foot wall all the way around. Scoreboard is out in right center field. So 7-2 in favor of the Ballers after Yolo won yesterday 15-4. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch, and that's having away 2-2. Well, Yolo knows that if they're going to win today, they're going to have to score at least 8 runs. Also knows that doesn't mean that Oakland is done for the afternoon either. 2-2 the count. Banks just back of the bag at third, and the pitch, swing and a miss, high fastball, strike 3. And Wilmer down on strikes. 6 strikeout for McPherson, so 2 out. McPherson's season high in strikeouts is 8. July 23rd here against Oakland, but he's not going to accomplish that today as manager Billy Horton is on his way to the mound, and that will mean a move here. So McPherson is done for the afternoon, and we will see a new Yolo pitcher. So the score here on the top of the 5th inning with 1 on and 2 out, it is Oakland 7 and Yolo 2. Back to tell you about Reed Garland in a moment on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Apologies, I had thought Reed Garland was coming in, folks. It's Ethan Bates. Ethan Bates is the new Yolo pitcher. So his first appearance on the mound in this series after he had pinch hit yesterday. Remember, he's a two-way player. So Bates comes on to do the pitching for the Yolo High Wheelers. The record for Ethan Bates, no wins, no losses, ninth appearance all out of the bullpen. And an ERA of 1.74 for Bates. So Bates on to pitch. And he inherits Clark at first, and the pitch to Josh Leslie, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Oakland Ballers. 2-3-0 for the High Wheelers. Leslie singled and scored in the second as Bates delivers, and that's taken low for a ball 1-1. And you go back to that single by Leslie in the second inning, and at that literal moment, you didn't think it was a huge deal. But it kept the door open in that second and allowed Burkell to give the Ballers the lead. The 1-1, Leslie a swing and a miss, strike 2, pitch down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. So Clark at first, the responsibility of McPherson. The 1-2 from Bates, and Leslie chops this one toward third to his left, Banks, and Kirkland will throw across to first to Figueredo, and Leslie is out, so Bates gets his lone batter in the 5th inning. 2-run homer by Stewart, part of a 3-run 5th for Oakland. So 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and a runner left. Halfway done, we go to the bottom of the 5th. It's Oakland 7 and Yolo 2 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports.
He collects baseball cards. He enjoys the holidays of Christmas. His go-to karaoke song is Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. And as a fun fact, he is an only
Well, halfway done, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 7-2, Oakland leading Yolo. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Alejandro Figueredo leads it off, and Reed Butt's first pitch is outside, a ball, no strikes. So it's Figueredo, Banks, and Mendoza to try and solve the mystery of Butts, the 1-0, and that's low 2-0. I mean, the High Wheelers strung together 3 straight 2-out hits in the first, which equated to 2 runs. But since the Blackford single in the first, the RBI single by Blackford, High Wheelers 10 straight batters retired. The 2-0 on the way. Low ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. So 7-2, Oakland. Bottom half of the 5th. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. Butts delivered 3-quarter windup And the pitch, and that's inside ball 4, so that's a start. Certainly not what Butts wanted to do. Walk the leadoff man, a 5-run Oakland lead. Top of the 5th inning. And now Kirkland Banks comes up. So Brandon McPherson, not one of his better outings today. 4 2/3 innings, allowed 10 hits, 7 runs, all earned. The 7 runs match the most he's given up this year. Also did that August 10th in Northern Colorado. No walks, 6 strikeouts, offered a wild pitch, and gave up 2 home runs. Now it's Banks who bats. And from Butts to Banks, and that's low inside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, so 5 straight have been missed by Reed Butts. And the Oakland pitching coach, Jim Diedrich, will come out and settle down Butts. Again, I'm not sure if anybody is warming in the Oakland bullpen. Jim Diedrich, veteran pitcher, and one time was a veteran pitcher. Veteran of the game and man who had the briefest of big league careers. It was with the Baltimore Orioles in 1995. And tomorrow is the, hard to believe, 29th anniversary of Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's major league record for most consecutive games played. Gehrig had the record forever and ever, 2,130, and then Ripken broke it, 21-31, of course. And Jim Diedrich is 1 month in the big leagues with the Orioles. Well, it was right at that time. He was there in uniform that night for that historic moment. The 1-0 pitch, low ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Often talked to Jim Diedrich about it. And as brief a big league career that he had, he was there for, as they said, one of the most historic moments in our game's history, there as a uniformed big league player. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. And the pitch, and that's low and in. 3-0 now, so 7 straight missed by Butts. 7-2 Oakland, bottom half of the 5th inning. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo Highwheelers listening to the Yolo Highwheelers on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. The 3-0 pitch, and that's low ball 4. I thought that pitch was pretty close. The first 7 I didn't think were, I thought, legitimately balls. And, I don't hardly say anything about the umpires. That's not what I'm about. I thought that one might have been a strike. But anyway, 8 in a row missed by Butts, and he will leave this one right now as manager Aaron Miles is on his way to the mound, and that is it. So, pitching change here. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 on, nobody out. A 7-2 Oakland lead. Back to tell you about the new Oakland pitcher in a moment on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. The new pitcher for the Oakland Ballers is right-hander Connor Richardson, who we've seen about 36 times this year. 6'4", 239 pounds. And he is 24 years old, so we go from one pitcher who went to college in North Dakota to another pitcher who is from North Dakota originally. Connor Richardson, who's from Grand Forks. Figueiredo's at second, Banks at first, and now Angel Mendoza comes up. It's Oakland 7 and Yolo 2 here in the fifth inning. The bottom of the fifth, Mendoza struck out looking in the second inning. And the pitch to Angel, and he takes a big swing and a miss, strike one. And the count is at no balls and one strike. 0-1 the count from Richardson, who's 5-0 this year, 3.60 ERA. 31st appearance all out of the bullpen. Corner's ready to charge in case of a bunt, and the pitch, and Angel is swinging a miss at a fastball. So strike two, no balls, two strikes to Mendoza. So the Corners were expecting a bunt. Mendoza never showed bunt in either of the first two pitches. 7-2 Oakland here in the fifth inning, bottom half of the fifth. High Wheelers don't need everything back right now, but I think a nice three-spot would be nice here for Yolo. 0-2 the count to Mendoza. On deck, the top of the order, the center fielder and Smith. And the pitch, and Angel chases that one well out of the zone. Strike three, foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Clark, and Mendoza is out. First strikeout for Richardson, who is making his first appearance of this series. So unproductive at bat there for Mendoza. His job there was to at least get the runners up, but to no avail. Now for the third time today, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder Tanner Smith. He is 0 for 2. And the pitch on the way to Tanner. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. Strike one from Richardson. No balls and a strike to Smith. So again, Tanner with the absence of Braylon Skinner today, not in the lineup. Just a day off for Skinner. I mentioned Smith just the second time this year he's hit leadoff. Figueiredo's at second, Banks at first, and the pitch, and that's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Smith, second time batting leadoff, second time playing center field. So essentially he's filling two roles today that with Skinner not in the lineup. Smith assumes both the leadoff and center field position. Tanner told me he played some center field in college at Oregon, but predominantly a corner outfielder, just as he's been here. As the 1-1 is low ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. And Billy Horton telling me about Smith saying, we like him in the leadoff spot in a, once in a while situation, his ability to walk. The 2-1 here, low and in, ball 3, 3 out of 1. His ability to walk, his ability to have speed, to take advantage of being a left-handed batter where he can be a little closer to first base. Only other player aside from Skinner and Smith who's hit leadoff this year for Yolo is Braylon Marine, who's done it 8 times. Marine waits on deck. Runners at first and second, 7-2 Oakland, and Smith takes a strike on the outside corner from Richardson. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3-2 the count with 1 out. Smith 0 for 2 this afternoon. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. Big hole out in right center. And now Richardson will step off the rubber. That's his first disengagement for Richardson. Mentioned Yolo in the black shirts and the white pants. Oakland, the forest green shirts and the gray pants today. The 3-2. And Smith requests time and backs out of the box. So no pitch. 3-2. So green shirts, gray pants, Ballers spelled across the front in gold with the green caps. Gold number on the back of the shirt. 3-2 the count. Outfield now a few steps to the left in the pitch, and Smith the tapper foul up along first. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes with a 7-2 Oakland lead over Yolo. Bottom of the 5th inning. Braylon Marine wetting on deck. Mentioned Smith the first time he had leadoff this year. Last homestand against Boise in that spot. That game he had a 4-hit game. The 3-2. And Tanner takes, and that's low inside, ball 4, and that loads him up. So 3 walks in this inning. 2 issued by Butts, now 1 by Richardson. That loads him up. So Figueiredo to third, Banks to second. And Smith, he's on for the first time today. And now Braylon Marine comes up. Now one swing of Marine's bat, it would be a one-run game. Middle infield looking at turn two. Again, Marine hitless in 2 tries. 7-2 Oakland here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So runners everywhere, 1 out and the pitch, and Marine takes low outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Marine. So again, Braylon third in the league in hitting at .389. Sits safely in his last 6 games. Marine had 2 8-game hitting streaks in August. I'd like to hit right here. The 1-0 pitch, and that hits the inner half of the plate. Strike 1. Not sure if Marine really liked that call, but no challenge there. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. So Figueiredo's at third, Banks is at second, and Smith is at first. Outfield around to the left, the 1-1, and that swung on and popped up. Infield fly rule into effect. The second baseman Stewart on the dirt, and he makes the easy catch. So Marine is out, so 2 down. And now Bobby Leday, well, it was just 24 hours ago that Leday was up with the bases loaded and hit a grand slam. Well, we'll see what happens here. And that grand slam was with 2 out. Well, it's 2 out right here. Leday followed his grand slam, well, how do I say this? Grand slam yesterday and carried the home run theme into today with a solo cloud in the first. And the pitch on the way to Leday, and a breaking ball drops in nicely for a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. So Leday, 6 RBIs yesterday. It was his 3rd game of the year for Leday of having at least 6 RBIs. Runners everywhere, 7-2 Oakland, bottom of the 5th, and Leday swing and a miss at a change-up, strike 2 from Richardson. So quickly 0-2 to Leday with Jose Gonzalez on deck. So no balls, 2 strikes to count with 2 out. And Richardson, who went to college in Minnesota, delivers, and Leday swings and misses strike 3, and he is out. So what a job, despite allowing a walk, does strike out 2 batters in this inning. Got Marine to pop out with 1 out and the bases loaded, and gets Leday to strike out with the bases loaded. Second strikeout for Richardson, and the threat by Yolo is just that. No runs, no hits, no errors, and Yolo leaves them loaded. On to the 6th, 7-2. Oakland leads Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. On to the 6th inning. Oakland 7 and Yolo 2. Again tomorrow, another 4 o'clock start on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, Luke Short for Oakland, Brandon Mitchell for Yolo. Brad Burkell leads it off in the first pitch from Ethan Bates. Swing and a miss. Fastball in the outer half, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Burkell, Best, and then the top of the Oakland order for the center fielder Carson. 8-9-1. And the 0-1 here. And Burkell swings and misses. Fastball in the outer half, strike 2. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes. So 7-2, the Ballers lead it. Bates again came on last and they got the final out. The 0-2 on the way, outside ball 1. 1-2 from Bates, 6 feet, 185 pounds. He's 22 years old, from Hot Springs, Arkansas. The 1-2 pitch, and Burkell swings and misses, strike 3. Well, maybe Burkell should have waited. Maybe he could have requested the bat with 2 out instead of leading off an inning because of his 4 RBIs today, including that 3-run homer. The second of all come with 2 out. First strikeout for Bates, 1 down, and now it's Tyler Best who comes up. He is 0 for 2. And Bates delivers, and Best lines one past Bates in the center, a base hit. First hit as a member of the Oakland Ballers for Best, who is 1 for 3 now, as the center fielder Smith gets the ball in towards second. 11 hits now for Oakland, and they'll throw that ball out of play. It's his first hit at this level. And now for the 4th time today, Oakland will go to the top of its order for the center fielder Brett Carson. Now Bates, get a two-way player, pinch hit yesterday, and the pitcher he faced is the batter he's facing now, in Brett Carson, who pitched innings 7 and 8 yesterday. As the pitch to Carson is a strike called on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. And Bates came up with runners at first and second and nobody out and smacked a ball. Line drive that was caught by Dante Stewart, and that turned into a line drive double play. The 0-1 pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. And I talked to Bates before the game today. I said, man, that's a tough double play you hit into. He's like, yeah, you're telling me. I said, yeah, not really your fault hitting into that double play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bates delivers, and that's up and away, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike, with Best, the runner at first base, being held on by Figueredo. 7-2 Ballers, top of the 6th inning. Carson doubled in the 5th inning. He got that 3-run inning going. The 2-1 on the way, and he swings and flies this one toward left center. A long way for the center fielder Smith, deep into the gap in left center to make the catch. And Carson is out. So nice running catch there by the center fielder, Tanner Smith. Again, getting the start out there today. I mentioned Braylon Skinner, just with the day off. So 2 down, Best back to first. And now it's Dante Stewart, who had a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. 7-2 Oakland. 6th inning, top half. Final line on Reed Butts, the Oakland starter. 4 innings plus. 3 hits, 2 runs both earned. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, allowed 1 home run. First pitch to Stewart is fouled at the plate, strike 1. And the count is a no balls and 1 strike with a 7-2 advantage for the Ballers. Top of the 6th. There's the pitch to Stewart, and that's inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Stewart, who is of Bahamian descent. Family has roots in the Bahamas, he told me. Does Dante Stewart, the 1-1 on the way. That's a strike on the inside corner. Count is a 1 ball and 2 strikes. So I said to Stewart, they said, oh, the Bahamas. I said, that's where Jazz Chisholm from the Yankees is from. He says, yeah, it's my cousin. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I think you know that then. Meaning that, said that to him. I guess you must know that Chisholm's from the Bahamas. 1-2 is low, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, Stewart went to high school in Houston, so his more formative years were in the Houston area, but family roots go back to the Caribbean. 2-2 the count with 2 out. 7-2 Ballers. And Bates went to Louisiana Tech, delivers, and that's outside, 3-2. So a couple of players who played their college baseball in North Louisiana. Bates out of Louisiana Tech, where he was this past spring, the 2024 Conference USA Player of the Year. Facing Stewart, I went to Northwestern State in Natchitoches. Runner from first, Best. He's about to go, the 3-2. And Stewart swings, and he flies one to center field, backing up Smith in the sun, and Tanner Smith, he makes the catch. So Smith catches a couple of balls in the sixth. One hit, one left, on to the bottom of the sixth, 7-2. Oakland leads Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports.
Today we have Mario, Ben, and we have our all-time leading racer, Rachel. Let's see if Rachel can keep her streak alive. On your mark, get set, go! And with the easy start up ahead, Rachel coming in second, Mario not too far behind.
New pitcher number 40, Brody Iglesias.
See Rachel closing in on Ben around the middle field, and yes, Rachel has passed Ben. Mario's catching up to Ben. Rachel's getting close to the finish line. Coming up in 3, 2, 1, and yep, Rachel has still
Do you have a
the leader of our high wheeler race. Thank you all to Mario, Ben, and Rachel.
Iglesias?
Yeah.
So him and Richardson are both 5-0?
Yes.
Brody Iglesias? Iglesias. Yeah, E-G-L-I-T. 40.
Now your attention please. Now pitching for the Oakland Ballers, number 40, Brody Iglesias.
We move to the bottom of the sixth inning. It is 7-2. The Oakland Ballers out in front over the Yolo High Whalers. 7 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for Oakland. 2-3-0 for Yolo and Brody Iglesias, who we've called a lot this year. We've seen a lot this year. Comes on to do the pitching for Oakland. Jose Gonzalez leads it off. Gonzalez, Blackford, and Glancy, middle third of the order, and Jose takes outside, a ball, no strikes. Gonzalez doubled and scored in the first inning. He's 1 for 2. As the 1 ball, no strike pitch, and that's high ball 2, 2-0. Jose now 38 straight games for him. He's reached base safely. Connor Richardson, good job in that bottom of the 5th inning. Came in first and second, nobody out, and nobody scored. The kick in the 2-0. Outside ball 3, 3-0. So Richardson, 1 hitless and shutout inning. He walked 1, struck out 2. Iglesias' record is 5-0. 3 balls, no strikes. He kicks and delivers, and that's down the middle. Strike 1 to Gonzalez. 3-1 the count. Iglesias 5-0, as I just mentioned. That's still true. 3.70 ERA, 26th appearance for Iglesias. He's had 1 start. As he works from the set in the 3-1, and Gonzalez swings, and he drives one high in the air to deep right field. Wilmer is back on the track, and now he'll come in a few more steps to make the catch. He had backed up to the track and then saw, well, the ball might not reach the track, and he came back in a couple of steps, really on the back part of the grass to haul it in. So Gonzalez just missed right there, 1 down. And now the designated hitter bats, and Braden Blackford with a 7-2 Oakland advantage in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, the High Whalers certainly had their chance in this 5th. Bases loaded, 1 out, and pretty much a couple of their big boppers up, but Richardson was able to get Marine to pop out to second and got Lede to strike out swinging. Now Blackford, and he takes outside from Iglesias, ball 1. A ball, no strikes. Brody Iglite, 6'2", 230 pounds. He's 23 years old, out of San Francisco State. The kick and the 1-0. And Blackford, out of Peoria, Illinois, takes a strike on the outside corner. Ball and a strike to Blackford, shortening his pants all the way up to his knees, showing the thick black socks. Ball and a strike to count. Braden had the last hit for Yolo, the RBI first inning single, the 1-1. And he looks at strike two on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So the High Wheelers, they said that's been it. 3 hits in the first and have not had a hit since. 17 straight batters without a hit for Yolo, despite loading the bases in the 5th inning, but that was all via the walk. So 1-2 the count. 7-2 the score. The Ballers out in front. The 1-2, and that's low from Iglite. Ball 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes from Iglite, who's from the Bay Area. He's from Martinez out in the East Bay. 7-2 Oakland, bottom 6, and the 2-2 pitch. And that's low ball 3 from Iglite. So now 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. 3-2 the count to Iglite, to Blackford from Iglite. Third baseman Burkell back of the bag and off the line, the 3-2. And Blackford swings, flies this one to center. Carson barely has to move for it in the sun. And the center fielder, Brett Carson, makes the routine catch. 2 down, bottom of the 6th inning. It is 7-2 in favor of the Oakland Ballers, leading the Yolo High Wheelers. And now the right fielder, David Glancy, will come to the plate. Glancy, he's 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's popped a short. He's flying to right. A 7-2 lead for Oakland here in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. And Iglite delivers, and Glancy, high pop-up foul right side, strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike to count from Brody Iglite to Glancy. So Iglite, one of the few still on this Oakland team who's been here all season. The kick in the 0-1. And Glancy swings, ground ball up the middle and past the diving shortstop Leslie. And through into center field, a base hit. So that's the first hit since the bottom of the 1st for Yolo. Glancy now 1 for 3 as the center fielder Carson gets the ball in toward short. And now the first baseman, Alejandro Figueiredo, who will come up for the 3rd time. Iglite, understandably, growing up in Martinez, a fan of one of the Bay Area major league teams, grew up a Giant fan, went to college in San Francisco. But his favorite player growing up, a guy who played for the A's, played for a lot of teams, but I think most people will remember Eric Burns as in Oakland A, as opposed to Burns being a Diamondback or a Mariner. Figueiredo bats. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. And the pitch to Alejandro, and he inside outs this one. Pops it up back to first in the foul ground, and Martinez cannot get it. The ball goes into the net, and so does Martinez, who falls down a huge cloud of dirt/dust. Kicks up. Now Martinez gets up. So the count is at no balls and 1 strike. So hopefully Martinez will be okay. 7-2, Oakland leading Yolo. Bottom of the 6th inning. Iglite last pitched August 31st against Idaho Falls. Mentioned Iglite has 1 start this year. That was his last outing. Got a no decision, a 13-2 Idaho Falls victory, the only loss in that series for Oakland. So again, each of these teams coming into the series having won 5 out of 6. Remember, mentioned Yolo has won 17 of its last 20 games. I wonder if that's the best stretch of any professional baseball team right now in the last 20 games. So no balls and 1 strike to Kenya. Yolo right now is the anti-White Sox. 0-1 the count. And the pitch, and Figueredo swings. Tapper foul up along. 3rd strike to 0-2. 7-2 in favor of the Ballards, bottom of the 6th inning. Now, folks, I realize that I am an employee of the Highwheelers, but I would still have to give the better chance of the White Sox winning that game over the Highwheelers. I'm going to say that. Although I would like to see that, but I think the White Sox would still win that one. 0-2 the count with 2 out. And the pitch on the way, and that's very high, ball 1. 1-2. What is the current losing streak? 10 right now? They have another 10-game losing streak, is it? They're something like 31 on 108. They could very well set the all-time American League record for the worst winning percentage ever, which right now in the modern era is held by the 1916 Philadelphia A's, of winning 25% of the games. The 1-2, Figueredo swings, and he flies this one toward deep center. Carson back to his left, still circling for it, and makes the catch toward right center. So Figueredo giving that one a ride, but to the wrong part of the ballpark. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 7th, 7-2. Oakland leading Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. On we go to the 7th inning. 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Oakland. 2 runs and 4 hits, no errors for Yolo. Again, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, we'll start everything up on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Luke Short will pitch for Oakland, a right-hander, and then Yolo will counter with left-hander Brandon Mitchell. Noah Martinez leads it off. Ethan Bates, who came on to get the last out of the 5th, then worked a scoreless 6th, now begins the 7th inning. And the pitch to Martinez, swing and a miss, strike 1-0-1. Time before about the White Sox at 31 and 109. Their winning percentage right now is at 22%, 2-2-1 winning percentage. The 0-1 on the way is a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. However, the White Sox stop the presses, are leading at Baltimore against one of the best teams in baseball. White Sox are leading 6-1 there in the top of the 9th. Apparently that last pitch was challenged by Martinez and the Ballers, and it was overturned to a ball. So the count is at 1 ball, 1 strike. But the White Sox might very well, as I say, set the worst percentage ever in the modern era. That means 1901 to the present. The modern era of what we consider the major leagues, 1901 to right now. A 1 ball, 1 strike pitch, and that's outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. And I mentioned the 1916 Philadelphia A's. They actually won, their winning percentage was .235, not .250. Finished 54.5 games back of first as Martinez swings, line drive, center field, base hit. So second hit allowed by Bates. Martinez has his second hit today. as the center fielder Smith gets the ball in towards second. 7-2 in favor of Oakland. Top of the seventh. So Martinez, Barrera, and Clark, 3, 4, and 5. People talk about the New York Mets. It's the, in terms of the expansion era, the worst ever percentage. 1962 Mets, 40 and 120. But the White Sox are going to be right around there. So now the pitch on the way to Barrera, and that's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 1916 Philadelphia A's, 36 and 117. That was back when they played, roughly 154 games. Barrera swings here, a line drive to second, low line drive, caught by Lede, throw back to first. The ball got away from Figueredo, but stays in play. Ball hit the screen right in front of the Yolo dugout, first base side. So Figueredo just plays the carom off the screen. Line drive out there by Barrera. One down. Martinez back to first. 7-2, Oakland leading Yolo. Top of the seventh, that Trip Clark bats. And the 1919 Philadelphia A's, that winning percentage was at .257. So as I say, the White Sox are going to be right around some of the worst teams in the history of their modern era of Major League Baseball. So now Trip Clark, an RBI single, and that 3-run fifth. And as Ethan Bates from the set kicks and delivers, and that's outside ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. I had shortchanged the White Sox. I said their current losing streak is 10. I apologize, it's a 12. But they are up 6-1 in the ninth inning right now at Baltimore. The 1-0 pitch. Clark goes the other way. Line drive, right field, base hit. Right fielder Glancy up with the ball, gets it in towards second. Clark a 2-hit game. 13 hits now for Oakland. A 7-2 Oakland advantage over Yolo. And now Stephen Wilmer will come up. Most recent example of a team as bad as the White Sox, 2003 Tigers, winning percentage of .265. They were 43 and 119. I don't think the White Sox are going to get to 40 wins. I just don't. In fact, I think the last win the White Sox had was at the Giants a couple of weeks ago. I do know they won the final game of that series. So now it's Wilmer who's 1 for 3. Outfield around to the left, and the pitch. And that's outside ball one. I mentioned those two teams that the Philadelphia A's had, 1916 and 1919, where their winning percentages were, when you average it, at about .240. Outfield around to the left side. 7-2 Oakland, and the pitch, and that's outside for a ball, 2-0. The reason why the manager didn't get fired for those two teams was because he owned the team. Connie Mack, he had job security. He managed there for about 52 years, so he didn't have to worry about anybody looking over his shoulder or telling him what to do. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch outside ball 3-3, and I think that's frowned upon nowadays. I think after Connie Mack left, that there were no more owner-managers in the major leagues, although don't tell that to most of the owners right now, but guys that literally would be in the dugout. 3 balls, no strikes. Big hole in right center. Bates delivers, and that's low and away. Ball 4, and that loads the bases. So Martinez goes to third. Clark to second. Wilmer on for the second time. And I realize when you're down 7-2 in the seventh inning, the chances don't look great. But, you know, with Yolo, the offense has been so productive of late, and we know the high wheelers can strike often. However, there comes a point when you're this far into the game and down by this many that you really cannot afford to let anything, any other runs in. And let's see, I think we're going to see a pinch runner at third. And it's going to be yesterday's starting pitcher for Oakland. Zach St. Pierre will pinch run at third base for Noah Martinez. And I'd have to think that we will see Martinez come right back into the game to play first base. So St. Pierre, who we have seen earlier in the year as a pinch runner, pinch runs here in the seventh inning, and a 7-2 Oakland lead over Yolo. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Now the High Wheelers did have a 2-0 lead at one point, but Tell you what, as they say, go back to that second inning, the 2-out single by Josh Leslie kept that inning going, allowing the 3-run homer by Burkell, and well, the High Wheelers have only had one threat since. So now it's Leslie who's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. And he swings, ground ball up the middle, center field base hit. St. Pierre scores. Clark on his way home, he will score, and it's now 9-2 Oakland in the top half of the 7th. So Leslie's had a couple of big hits here this afternoon. Wilmer goes up to second base. So now 9-2 in favor of the Ballers. And now it's Brad Burkell. He's got 4 RBIs today. So now 9-2 in favor of the Ballers. And now it's Burkell who comes up. And he takes outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Leslie RBIs 23 and 24. So Wilmer's at second. Leslie's at first. 9-2 is the score with Oakland leading. Top of the half of the 7th. And the pitch. Breaking ball. Swing and a miss from Bates. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Bates, this is his first outing against Oakland. Remember, he was, even though he's been here for over a month now, remember, he was signed right after the last series these two teams played against each other. The 1-1, foul to the plate, strike 2 to Burkell. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Bates last appeared on Sunday night, last appeared as a pitcher on Sunday night, last Sunday at Boise. Worked 1 inning, struck out 2. Had 3 good outings against Boise over that 12-game span against the Hawks, totaling 4 innings and 3 strikeouts. Runners lead at first and second, and the kick on the pitch, and Burkell with 4 RBIs today, taps 1 foul back of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Bates, Conference USA Player of the Year / first team all-conference player for Louisiana Tech. Led Division I this past spring with 17 saves. Pitched 2 years for Louisiana Tech, total 27 saves in that time for the Bulldogs. Runners at first and second, the 1-2, and that's in the dirt. And the ball caroms all the way over toward the first base side of the grass. It'll be a wild pitch. Figueredo, the first baseman, has to go pick up the ball. You think of a wild pitch, normally it goes back of the plate, maybe sometimes caroms over toward third. Not often you would see the first baseman pick it up, but the wild pitch moves Wilmer to third and Leslie to second. 9-2 Oakland. Top of the 7th inning. Count to Burkell's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. From Ethan Bates. Infield now in, but still a 7-run Oakland lead. And the 2-2 pitch. And Burkell is swinging a pop-up foul left side. 2-2. Base hit to the outfield here by Burkell could give him 6 RBIs, which would be a season high for Brad. 2-2 the count to Burkell, who was in the MLB Draft League last year in Mahoning Valley up in northeast Ohio. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, and that goes all the way to the screen on the fly. Mendoza picks the ball. The throw home is not in time. The second wild pitch by Bates. That scores Wilmer, who slides in safely. Moving to third is Leslie. And the lead is now 10-2 Oakland. And the count is at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Bates having a tough go of it here in the 7th inning. Infield remains in. 3-2 the count. So 10-2 now Ballers. And the pitch, and Burkell is swinging a miss. Pitch down to the end, strike 3. And he is out. That is the second time Bates has struck out Burkell. So both of Bates' strikeouts have been courtesy of Burkell. And now Tyler Best will come up. When you've won 17 out of 20, it's tough really to complain. This is really really within the last almost 3 weeks where it has been decisive advantage for the other team. And now the pitch on the way to Best, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. There's not been too many other losses of late. 2-0 the first game in Boise, so that was a close game. I guess you could say Boise winning 8-3 here was rather decisive. The 0-1 outside for a ball 1-1, although Boise did score 3 runs late in that one, so that game was close much of the way. And then the only other loss within the 20 was a 2-0 Grand Junction win, the 1-1. And that's driven down the right field side, and that ball is foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 10-2 Oakland, top of the 7th. So, of the 3 losses Yolo has had in the last 20 games, they've only been, when you average it, it's only been a 3-run average of a loss within those 3 games. Other than that, Yolo's won those games. But not the case today, as this has been, since the second inning, it has really been all Oakland. Seems like a long time ago that Yolo led in this game, although Yolo did lead 2-0 after an inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Best. Yolo mentioned Oakland up 10-2. Oakland does have 14 hits today. Bates from the set and the 1-2. And Best swings and he flies one to right field. Glancy in the shade out there to his right. And the right fielder, David Glancy, he's got it. But 3 more runs for the Oakland Ballers on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left. Stretch time from Davis, California. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The score 10-2, Oakland leading Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports.
Same pitcher for them. Came back into first base. I don't know who I'm yelling to because no one else is here.
Today, he told me only one. If you want me to bring that can, I have it over there. Oh, am I bringing that to them?
Yeah, thanks. Noah Martinez came back into play first.
Well, stretch time from Davis, California, but it's been Oakland doing all the stretching today. 10-2, the Ballers lead the High Wheelers. Noah Martinez comes back into play first base after he had been lifted for the pinch runner, Zach St. Pierre. So Kirkland Banks leads it off against Brody Iglite in the first pitch to Banks. And that is outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Banks, Mendoza, and then the top of the yellow order for the center fielder, Smith. 8-9-1 and a 10-2 lead for the Ballers. Iglite's 1-0, and that's outside ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. Banks is 0 for 1 with a walk. Iglite a shutout 6th inning, despite giving up a hit. Wears his cap upright a little bit, sort of like he tips the bill of the cap up. The 2 on the way is high ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. So instead of wearing the bill of the cap flat, he just tips the cap up. The 3-0, and Banks takes a strike at the knees. So 3 balls and 1 strike. 10 runs, 14 hits, and no errors for the Ballers. 2-4-0 for the High Wheelers. Yolo with just one hit since the first inning. The kick in the 3-1. And Banks swings, line drive, center field, base hit. So Iglite left that ball up, and Banks has himself a single as the center fielder Carson gets the ball in towards second. Hit number 5 for Yolo, but the High Wheelers trail 10-2. And instead of Angel Mendoza, we are going to see a pinch hitter. It'll be the other Yolo catcher in Edwin De La Cruz. And I'd have to think that De La Cruz would stay in the game to catch. So De La Cruz, who was 1 for 1 yesterday with a double, he will pinch hit here with one on and nobody out. In the bottom of the 7th inning, 10-2 is the score. Oakland leading. De La Cruz in 12 Yolo games, 250, a homer, and 4 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way to De La Cruz, close shave up and in, ball 1 to Edwin. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Banks not likely to take off here with Yolo down by 8. But Kirkland Banks this year does have 10 steals and has been caught 4 times as Martinez holds him on. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch, and De La Cruz a swing and a miss at a high fastball. Strike 1. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. 10-2, Oakland leading Yolo. We are in the 7th inning. Bottom half of the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch on the way. And Edwin a swing and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher Clark from Brody Iglite. Strike 2, 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Banks at first. 10-2 Oakland. De La Cruz takes high ball 2. 2-2 to Edwin, who joined the High Wheelers right around mid-July. De La Cruz, born in the Dominican Republic, but then moved to New York City when he was about 3 years old. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch, and Edwin a big swing and a miss, strike 3, and he is down on strikes. So that's the first strikeout for Iglite, 1 down. Banks holds it Banks holds it first, and now for the 4th time this afternoon, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder Tanner Smith with a 10-2 Oakland lead, bottom of the 7th inning. Tanner walked in the 5th, so again 0 for 2. And Iglite deals from the set, and Smith takes, and that is inside, ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes the count. Oakland with 3 3-run innings today. And also has a run in the 4th. The kick in the 1-0, and a breaking ball drops in nicely. Strike 2 on the inner half. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Looks like Travis Holt on deck would bat for Marine. The 1-1, and that's swung on by Smith, and he drives one toward left center field. A long run for Carson, and the center fielder far to his right will get there to make the catch. So one center fielder flies to the other, 2 down. Banks back to first, 10-2, Oakland leading Yolo. Bottom of the 7th. And now Travis Holt will pinch hit for Braylon Marine. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So yesterday a blowout win for Yolo. Today, right now, it's all Oakland. So in each case, a chance to give the regulars a little bit of a rest, the rest of this one. So Holt will come up. Holt was 0 for 1 yesterday. So Holt digs in. And Iglite from the belt delivers, and Holt takes, and that is outside, ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. Holt, as a member of the High Wheelers, this is his 18th game. He's batting 167, no homers, and he has 5 runs batted in. A 1-0 pitch, and Holt takes, and that's a strike on the inner half, 1-1. So Holt becomes the 3rd player for, he's been here for a while, but Holt is one of 3 players who this year have played for both Billings and Yolo. The 1-1, Swing, ground ball to shortstop. It's gloved by Leslie. Underhand toss to the second baseman, Stewart. And that gets Banks. The others, Taylor Lomack, who just joined the High Whalers, and Alejandro Figueiredo, the other. So 6-4 on the force at second base. And that concludes the 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left. We move to the 8th. Yolo will have a new pitcher when we get back with the score. Oakland 10 and Yolo 2 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports.
New pitcher, Reed Garland.
It's like well, we go to the 8th inning at a 10-2 advantage for the Oakland Ballers. Now it's time for Reed Garland, who I had in earlier today. So, Reed, thank you for coming into the game later today. I was just, getting ready to introduce you a few innings ago. First pitch on the way to Brett Carson, taken for a strike 0-1. Top of the Oakland order for the 5th time now. It's Carson, the center fielder, then Stewart, and then Martinez as the 1-0 pitch, and that's the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. Carson is 1 for 4, a double and a run scored. 10 runs, 14 hits, and no errors for Oakland. 2-5-0 for Yolo. As Garland from the belt, third base side of the rubber deals, and that's a strike called on the outside corner, 1-2. Staying in the game to do the catching, Edwin De La Cruz for Yolo. And staying in the game to play shortstop for the High Wheelers, Travis Holt, after each had pinch hit in the bottom of the 7th. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count from Reed Garland, who last worked Friday night at Boise, August 30th, and struggled in that 9th inning, even though the High Wheelers were well out in front. The 1-2, low and in, ball 2, 2-2. Garland, in his last appearance, worked a third of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs all earned, and walked 2. Garland, his overall Pioneer League record this year between Yolo and Boise is 5-3, but he's 2-1 in a High Wheeler uniform. The kick on the 2-2, and Carson takes outside ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Garland, his Yolo numbers, 2-1, 11th appearance, 9th as a reliever, 3.24 ERA. Wearing the black and gold. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Carson. 10-2 High Wheeler, or 10-2 Ballers. Top of the 8th, and the pitch, and that's up and away, ball 4. So Carson draws a leadoff walk. And now here is the second baseman, and Dante Stewart. Ethan Bates today for Yolo, 2 1/3 innings. Allowed 4 hits, 2 runs both earned. walked one, struck out two, and he offered 2 wild pitches. So now it's Stewart who bats, and the pitch from Garland, breaking ball, taken for a strike, 0-1. Garland acquired by the High Wheelers from Boise back in mid-July. 6'2", 185 pounds. Garland, he'll be 23 on the 12th of September. No ball, 1 strike pitch, and that's in the dirt, 1-1. I know it brings up, obviously, one of the worst tragedies in the history of not just our country but in the world, but Reed Garland was born the day after 9/11, and I realize that nobody's going to remember the day you're born. I get that, but I asked Garland, I said, your parents tell you any stories about around the time you were born and right around 9/11? And Reed filled me in a little bit about that. 1 ball, 1 strike. 10-2 Oakland, top of the 8th, and Stewart swings at a chopper past the mound toward short. Charged by Holt, throws on the run over to Figueiredo at first. And Stewart is out, 1 away. Carson moves to second base. It is 10-2 in favor of Oakland, top of the 8th inning. So Reed Garland told me that what his mom told him. He says, his mom, of course, was ready to deliver the day before, obviously, and she said to Garland that she saw the horrific coverage of 9/11 while she was in her hospital bed in preparation, ready to give birth within about 24 hours. So now it's Noah Martinez, and he takes low ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 10-2, Oakland leading Yolo. Top of the 8th inning. And I guess she wasn't, she was already in, ready to go just in case, and Reed arrived a day later. 1 ball, no strikes. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. Garland kicks and deals, and that's low for a ball, 2-0. Well, most people you talk to will never, ever forget the day they were during that sad day in our world's history. But only one I know of that was ready to give birth was at least Reed Garland's mom, the 2-0 pitch, and that's low ball 3. And the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes. But, Garland, I asked Reed about that, and he told me, that that's where his mom was, in the hospital the day of, watching the horrificness on television. 3 balls, no strikes, the count. Carson leads at second base, and the pitch. And Noah Martinez looks inside, ball 4. So he's on for the 3rd time this afternoon. So Garland, last couple of outings for him in which he has struggled. And, last outing, I mentioned that he walked 2. This outing he has walked now a couple. Garland, who's in his first year of pro ball, played at a technical college, a 2-year school in Florence, South Carolina, Florence Darlington Technical College. Again, he grew up in South Carolina, grew up just a pinch south of Charlotte. As the pitch on the way to Barrera, inside ball 1-0. Again, grew up in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is pretty much a Charlotte, North Carolina suburb. So 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Right fielder Glancy standing in the shade. Much of right field, really all of right field, much of right center in the shade. The 1-0 to Barrera. Inside ball 2-0. The mound is in the sun. Much of the diamond is in the shade. Much of the dirt portion of the diamond is in the shade. The grass portion mostly in the sun. Pretty much all of left field in the sun. So kind of split sun, split shade. The 2-0 here. And that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike with a 10-2 lead for the Oakland Ballers over the Yolo High Wheelers, top of the 8th inning. Barrera 2 for 4, couple of singles, couple of runs scored. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And the kick and the pitch, swing and a foul to the backstop, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned 9 of the 10 runs today for Oakland have come spread out over 3 innings, despite a run in the 4th, but the other 9 runs, 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 7th. Unlike the Cincinnati Reds today, who scored 9 runs in the first inning against Houston. 2-2 here, way outside, ball 3. 3-2 the count. Reds won that game 12-5. Well, you score 9 in the first, assuming that's the first 9 of the game. Well, you better win. And knocked out Astro starter Spencer Arrighetti, who gave up all 9 runs, all of them earned in 2/3 of an inning. The kick in the 3-2 to Barrera, and he pops this one up foul right side. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the Reds ended up winning, as I said, by a count of 12-5. And it all started on a home run by the leadoff batter for the Reds, Jonathan India. Went off the bottom of the first with a homer, and Reds kept on scoring. 3-2 here to Barrera, and that's up and in, ball 4, and Garland has walked the bases loaded. So Carson goes to third. Martinez up to second base. And Barrera to first. That loads him up, and the catcher De La Cruz, who joined this team right around the time Garland did, toward the just past mid-July, will come out and settle down to Garland. 10 runs, 14 hits, and no errors for the Ballers. 2-5-0 for the High Whalers. By the way, the White Sox did hold on to win today. They were up 6-1 going to the ninth. They had a 2 in the ninth, and ended up winning 8-1 at Baltimore. White Sox probably feel like they've won the pennant, beating Baltimore. Now it's Clark 2 for 4. And the pitch to Tripp, and that's in the dirt, ball 1. And the count moves to 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies beat the Blue Jays for the second straight day. But last night, Kyle Schwarber of the Phils, 3 home runs. Runners at every base. 10-2 ballers. Garland deals, and that's taken high, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes to count. Yeah, Schwarber last night in a Philly 10-9 win out of the leadoff spot. Not only had 3 home runs, he had 5 hits. The 2-0 inside 3-0. He had 5 hits, 4 runs scored, and 6 RBIs. Came just the second Philly in the last 40-plus years to have a 3-homer, 5-hit game. Not bad company. The other guy's name is Mike Schmidt. Runners at every base, 3 balls, no strikes. 10-2 Oakland, and the pitch, and that's low and in, ball 4. And that'll force home Carson, and that makes it now 11-2 in favor of the Ballers. So give Tripp Clark his second RBI today. Martinez goes to third, Barrera to second, and Clark on base now for the 3rd time. And now Stephen Wilmer will come to the plate. So 11-2 now Oakland. Tripp Clark, that's his 19th RBI as a member of the Ballers. Now Wilmer 1 for 3, single walk and a run scored. Outfield around to the left, and the pitch, and that's outside, ball 1. And the count's of 1 ball and no strikes. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, anytime anybody hits 3 home runs, but to have 6 RBIs out of the leadoff spot is not something you see very often. But as I said, the Phillies beating Toronto the last couple of days. The 1-0 pitch, and that's taken down the middle for a strike. The count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cubs right now are working on a combined no-hitter. They're up over Pittsburgh right now, 11-0. Runners everywhere, and the pitch outside, ball 2, 2-1. Shota Imanaga, the Japanese native, 11-3 this year, 7 hitless innings with 7 strikeouts. Removed in the 8th for pitcher Nate Pearson. The kick in the 2-1, and that's low inside to the backstop. And on the wild pitch, Martinez will score to make it 12-2 Oakland. Barrera to third, and Clark to second. So Garland just having a tough go of it. He's walked 4, now has given up 2 runs, has just issued a wild pitch. So now it's 2nd and 3rd, and the count is at 3 balls and 1 strike. So bottom of the 8th inning at Wrigley, it is 12-0 Cubs, as I said, who are working on a combined no-hitter against Pittsburgh. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, And the 3-ball, 1-strike offering. Swing ground ball to first. That's gloved by Figueredo, who steps on first. And now the runner Barrera runner Clark went from second to third. Barrera stayed at third, and the throw to third, and they get Clark, and that ends the inning on a wacky double play. Well, Oakland's up 12-2, and I think Aaron Miles, the manager, said, look, anything on the ground, don't run. Well, Barrera didn't run, which is understandable in this spot. We get it. But Clark took off for third, and the next thing you know, you had 2 runners at third base as Figueredo stepped on first for 1, and then they end up getting the second out, tagging out Clark, and we'll see if we can get a replay of that. So Wilmer is out 3 unassisted, and then we'll try and figure out the rest of that in a moment. So we'll look at the replay. Meanwhile, in the 8th inning, 2 runs on no hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 12-2, Oakland leading Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It is a 12-2 Oakland lead, and Carson Lambert, he comes on to do the pitching. Lambert's record is 2 wins and 4 losses. His ERA at 7.02, 23rd appearance, 14th out of the bullpen for the USC alum. Bobby Leday leads it off, and he takes outside ball 1. 1-0. Leday, Gonzalez, and Blackford to face Lambert, who the Highwheelers have seen as a starter and now a reliever, as Leday looks at a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. The play to end the top of the 8th inning. 3 unassisted on the first part of the play. Figueredo at first, stepping on the bag as Leday swings, and he flies this one deep towards center. Sends Carson going back, and he'll be there in front of the track to make the catch. And Leday is out. What away. It's Leday, Gonzalez, and Blackford, 3, 4, and 5. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors for Oakland. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Yolo. And now we're going to see a pinch hitter, Taylor Lomack. He is going to pinch hit for Jose Gonzalez. So Lomack in his now second at bat as a member of the Highwheelers, or at least plate appearance. 1 for 1 yesterday in his Highwheeler debut, and he takes outside ball 1, 1-0. So the ball hit by Wilmer, 3 and assist on the first part of that play. And then Trip Clark was out, hung up between second and third on a play that went 6 to 5. So 3 and assist on the first part, and then 6 to 5 on the putout. Obviously, Figueredo had to throw to the shortstop Holt, who threw to the third baseman Banks, who applied the tag on Clark. So 3 and assist on the first part, and actually the putout should go 3-6-5 because Figueiredo gets an assist. So 3 unassisted part 1. Part 2 was 3-6-5. As Lomax swings, ground ball to the right side and far to his left. It'll be the second baseman, Stewart, but nothing he can do with it. It'll be an infield single. So Lomax, now 2 for 2 as a member of the High Wheelers since his trade a few nights ago from Billings. So that'll be an infield single, and now the designated hitter, Braden Blackford, comes up. So 3 unassisted on the first part and 3-6-5 on the putout between second and third on that sort of reverse double play. So 3U part 1, 3-6-5 part 2. Now it's Blackford, and he takes high from Lambert, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors for Oakland, 2-6-0 for Yolo. Lomax, the runner at first base. Now he's got a lot of speed, and that's one of the reasons he was acquired by the High Wheelers. The 1-0 pitch, and that's swung on and foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Clark, 1-1. Now, with the High Wheelers down by 10 runs, I don't imagine that Lomax is going to be taking off right here, but Lomax this year with Billings, 30 stolen bases. Last year with the Mustangs, he had 41. The 1-1 to Blackford, and that's tapped out in front of the mound. Off the hill, Lambert bobbles the ball. Time to recover, picks up the ball and underhands it to the first baseman Martinez. So Blackford is still out. 1-3. I say still out. He wasn't out on the first part of that play. Still had time to get Blackford, who is now out. Blackford wasn't out when he was at the plate, but I think most of you know what I mean. So Blackford is retired, 1-3 there, 2 out. Lomax up to second base. And now David Glancy will come to the plate. That game is now final at Wrigley, 12-0, and the Cubs combine on a no-hitter to beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now it's Glancy, and he takes inside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count, so congratulations to the Cubs who pitch a combined no-hitter, beating Pittsburgh. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch popped up foul right side, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Cubs mentioned combining to do that using 3 pitchers. The man who went much of the way, the starter Shota Imanaga, gets the win. He went 7 innings. Swinging a comebacker, grabbed by Lambert in the shade. The pitcher will go halfway to first before underhanding the ball to Martinez. And Glancy is out. The other Cubs pitchers in that one, we mentioned Nate Pearson and the man who worked the 9th inning, Porter Hodge, all combined for that no-hitter. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 9th. It is 12-2. Oakland leading Yolo on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. On to the ninth inning, 12-2 Oakland, and Josh Leslie to lead it off for the first pitch from Reed Garland up and in ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. It'll be Leslie, Burkell, and Best, bottom third of the order, and a 12-2 lead for the Oakland Ballers, who've led since the second inning. Leslie a big reason why, and he swings here and drives one deep to left field, and Taylor Lomack at the wall, and he makes the catch. So Leslie, remember, he had that 2-out hit in the second inning. You know, if, and if, and you can say that about most baseball games. But Leslie, if he doesn't get that 2-out hit in the second, that inning's over, and Yolo keeps a 2-0 lead, and maybe Oakland never has the lead today. Then Leslie had a 2-run single to seventh, but he flies out here 1 down, and now instead of Brad Burkell, who hit that 3-run homer in the second inning, we are going to see a pinch hitter for the Ballers, man who played briefly yesterday, Eamon Lance, the Bay Area product catcher. He will come on and pinch hit here. Lance wears number 8, so he bats for Burkell here in the ninth inning, and Garland's pitches in the dirt, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes to Lance, who's from Fairfax up in Marin County. Lance 0 for 1 in his pro debut yesterday. Entire field now in the shade, just about the entire field, as the pitch to Lance is a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Mentioned that the Cubs pitched a combined no-hitter tonight, and the man who called that game on Cubs television, Marquee Sports, longtime friend of mine, Alex Cohn. The 1-1 on the way, low and in ball, low and in, and apparently that hit Lance. Breaking ball hit him, so Lance will go down to first base. So he'll be the runner there. First batter hit by Garland tonight. 12-2 Oakland, top of the ninth. So Alex Cohn, who serves as the radio play-by-play voice of the Cubs AAA team, the Iowa Cubs, but has had a few chances to show his stuff in the big leagues. I don't mean just at spring training, but a couple of regular season games earlier in the year. Alex called that game tonight on Marquee Sports. How cool is that? Calling a major league combined no-hitter. So now it's Best, and he takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. A couple of friends of mine who primarily work in the minor leagues have been able to call big league no-hitters this year. Joe Rizzo doing so for the Giants, called Blake Snell's no-hitter earlier in the year. Joe, the voice of the San Jose Giants primarily. The pitch on the way is in the dirt, ball 1-1, and now Alex Cohn getting to do it for the big league Cubs. So, but obviously tremendous opportunities there. So both of them calling big league no-hitters this year. I've done this almost 30 years at the professional level, pretty much at all levels, and I've never called a no-hitter. Swinging a drive toward right center, to his right to make the catch, David Glancy, the right fielder. Throw back to first, back safely standing up as Lance. Best is out, now 1 for 5, so 2 away, and for the 6th time this afternoon, and now into the early evening, Oakland will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Brett Carson. So, yeah, those two, among many others, I don't sing at the major league level, but among many others professionally, have called no-hitters. But, folks, my first year doing this was 1996, and I still have never called a no-hitter at any level. So, kind of crazy to think about that, but that's the truth. Now it's Carson who takes low and in and to the backstop. And on the wild pitch, Lance moves up to second base as the catcher, De La Cruz, has to track that ball to screen. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, you think somewhere along the way I would have called a no-hitter. I mean, I've called a bunch of cycles, I've called a bunch of triple plays, guys hitting out of order, all sorts of craziness, but never a no-hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Outfield around to the left. 12-2 Oakland in the pitch. Carson slaps this ball towards short. To his right, Holt up with the ball, throws, but not in time. And now coming home is Lance. A throw home there, and out at the plate is Lance. So the first part of that will be an error. Holt backhand grab, backhand attempt, muffed the ball, and then his throw to first was not in time. Lance then coming to the plate, and he is out. So error on Holt, but that moved Lance to third. But then The put out at the plate goes 3-2. Figueredo to Mendoza. So the error was part one. The put out here goes 3-2. Figueredo to the catcher, and I say Mendoza, the catcher, De La Cruz. 3-2 on the put out at the plate. And that ends the top of the ninth. No runs, no hits, one error, one left. Last chance for the Yolo High Wheelers. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It is 12-2 in favor of the Oakland Ballers. And we will see Jake Dowley on to finish this one for Oakland, or attempt to in a moment on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Well, we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Last chance for Yolo. Jake Dowley, the new pitcher, and he deals to Alejandro Figueredo, who swings and misses strike one. No balls and one strike. Figueredo, Banks, and De La Cruz, 7-8-9. The 0-1, and that hit Figueredo, so it's not quite what Dowley had in mind to open this ninth inning. Hitting Figueredo. Line on, I'm going to get you caught up on a couple of pitching lines for Oakland. Brody Iglite today for the Ballers. Lasted 2 shutout innings. Gave up 2 hits. No walks. And he struck out 1. So Iglite, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Carson Lambert lasted 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, and all zeros after that. So Dowley, the 5th pitcher for Oakland, delivers, and Kirkland Banks takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Eamon Lance stays in the ball game. He will catch. Jalen Smith comes in to play third base, and he will bat on the 5th spot. And the 0-1 pitch hit the shortstop. Glove by Leslie. Goes to Stewart at second for 1, and Ana Martinez at first. That is a double play, and just like that, Yolo is down to its last out. So Banks now 1 for 3, 6-4-3 on the double play. So 2 away, and now it's Edwin De La Cruz who will come up. Of course, likelihood of, Smith. Smith not going to bat. Oakland will not bat again today. We know that with of course, we don't have extra innings in the Pioneer League. We go to the knockout round. It would take quite a bit to get to the knockout round, though. 12-2 Oakland, 2 out, bottom of the ninth. And De La Cruz takes a strike from Dowley on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike from Dowley. 4 wins, 2 losses, 5.05 ERA. 35th appearance all out of the bullpen. The 0-1 is outside, 1-1. So no celebration today. Well, there could be. It's possible there could be later tonight. If Boise loses, both Yolo and Oakland would be in. How about that? Both could celebrate outside the ballpark tonight. The kick of the 1-1, and that's it. Foul along third, 1-2 against Dowley, who is 6'5", 250 pounds, 25 years old, from the Salt Lake area. Jake Dowley. Bottom of the fourth in Great Falls. Boise 1, Great Falls nothing. So as I said, if Boise loses tonight, both these teams are going to be in the postseason at the end of tonight. But right now, today belongs to Oakland, 12-2 Ballers. Yolo down to its last strike, and De La Cruz takes up an in ball, 2-2-2. Shadows over the entire field right now. Remember, we're now into September, so each day getting lighter a little early, or getting darker a little earlier now that we're into, as I said, is September. The 2-2 low ball, 3-3-2. So again, tomorrow, 4 o'clock Pacific time, we'll start the YouTube Live and Flow Sports feed for Oakland right-hander Luke Short and for Yolo left-hander Brandon Mitchell. 3-2 the count with 2 out. Dally delivers, and De La Cruz takes outside ball 4, so he keeps the game alive. And now for the 5th time this evening, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder and Tanner Smith. So Smith hitless in 3 tries, and the pitch on the way is outside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Tanner Smith. And the pitch on the way, and it's taken down the middle for a strike. I want to correct one thing. Ethan Bates allowed 3 runs all earned today, not 2. So 2 1/3 innings for Bates, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts, 2 wild pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike as Dally deals. De La Cruz at first not being held on by Martinez, and that's outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Since we know that Oakland will not bat again today, Reed Garland, he worked 2 hitless innings but allowed 2 runs, both earned. Walked 4. No strikeouts, hit a batter, and offered a wild pitch. 2-1 here is up and away, ball 3, 3-1. So Garland 2 hitless innings, but 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, no strikeouts. Going to hit batter and a wild pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. De La Cruz at first. 12-2, Oakland, bottom of the 9th. And the 3-1. And that's low and in ball 4, so back-to-back 2-out walks issued by Dally. Second time Smith is walked. Seems like a long time ago that Yolo led 2-0. So now it's Travis Holt. He is 0 for 1. He's reached on a force.
Number 9, Travis Holt.
So Holt pinch hit in the 7th, stayed in to play shortstop. Smith at first, the pitch to Holt with runners at first and second, taken for a strike on the outside corner from Dally. 0-1. Dally with the, we've had now 2 blowout games in this series. Yolo on the better end yesterday, Oakland on the better end today. But Dally actually played some right field yesterday. And we saw Dally, who played outfield in college at the University of Utah, and Scott Power. And, well, he won a knockout round here back in July. They sent him up, and the pitcher hit 1 out, the 0-1. And that's outside ball 2 to Holt. And the count is at 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls and 1 strike, and the pitch, and Holt lines one to center, but Carson is right there to make the catch, and the ball game is over. And the Oakland Ballers win this one by a count of 12 to 2. So Oakland, as I said, these 2 teams pretty much been going neck and neck all season, and usually you say, well, you've had 2 close games today, or this series, so we've had 2 blowout games, but they have offset. So Jake Dally, a shutout 9th inning, and Oakland wins this one, as I said, by a count of 12 to 2. Yolo in the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left. Final score here this afternoon, it was Oakland 12, Yolo 2. I will be back with the final totals in a moment. Final score here this afternoon, it was the Oakland Ballers 12 and the Yolo High Wheelers 2. So for the moment, the celebration on hold still for both teams. If Boise loses tonight, both these teams get into the playoffs. Here are the final totals. First for the victorious Oakland Ballers, who, by the way, with the win, now go one game up in first place over Yolo. But again, the key here is just to cement second place for either of these clubs to get to the playoffs. But now for the sole possession first place Oakland Ballers, who go to 56 and 36 overall and 29 and 15 in the second half. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors, and 7 left. The Yolo High Wheelers dropped to 51 and 39 and 28 and 16 in the second half. The 6-game winning streak is over for the High Wheelers. The winning pitcher for Oakland is Connor Richardson, now 6-0. Brandon McPherson, the loss for Yolo, and he drops to 6-2. Time of today's game, 3 hours and 1 minute. And again, by company rule, we do not announce the attendance. So it took one Yolo win to today, which they could only win one game today, but if they were to win today, would have clinched a trip to the playoffs. But looked good early for Yolo. That was a problem. It was early. 2 quick runs for the High Wheelers. Bobby Leday with a grand slam yesterday. Had a home run today in the first inning. And that made it 1-0 Yolo. That was against Reed Butts. The home run for Bobby Leday was his 17th of the year and his 81st run batted in. So already 7 RBIs in this series for Leday. Then left fielder Jose Gonzalez extended his on-base streak to 38 games when he doubled to left field. And then Braden Blackford, an RBI single to center. And that made it 2-0 Yolo on Blackford's 62nd run batted in, and it looked pretty good for Yolo early, but the second inning was really the telling inning for the in this one. After Brett Barrera, the DH for Oakland, off with a single, Brandon McPherson got the next 2 outs, but Josh Leslie, the former High Wheeler, singled to left with 2 out, and that kept the door open, and Brad Burkell, who only seems to hit home runs against Yolo, seems like it, did so here in the second inning with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Brandon McPherson hung one to Burkell, who launched one over the right field wall for a 3-run homer, and that made it 3-2 Oakland. And Burkell on the year now in terms of home runs has 11. 5 of them have come against Yolo. And who would have thought that would be what turned out to be the deciding hit today, because Yolo had a stretch of 17 straight batters come up without a hit. And at one point, Reed Butts ended up, after the hit by Blackford, had retired 10 in a row. In the 5th inning, Yolo was eventually down 7-2. Oakland scored a run in the 3rd, 3 more in the 5th, including a 2-run homer by second baseman Dante Stewart, his 7th with Oakland, and RBI 17 and 18. But we know Yolo's got ability to score quickly and early and often, or at least quickly, and had a chance in the 5th inning. Loaded the bases with 1 out after Reed Butts was taken out after 4+ innings. Connor Richardson came in, and Richardson worked around a bases-loaded 1-out situation. He was able to get Braylon Marine to pop to second and got Bobby Leday to strike out swinging. Today, Marine did not get a hit, so the hitting streak for Braylon of 6 games is over. 3rd in the Pioneer League coming into today at 389. And after that first inning, Yolo just did not score, not really much offense after that. So Oakland 3 in the 2nd, a run in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 3 more in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and Oakland would win 12-2. Reed Butts, despite the lopsided Oakland win, did not qualify for the win. He went 4+ innings to the starter. 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, the home run to Leday. Connor Richardson, very good job in that 5th inning. 1 inning, no hits, no runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Brody Iglite, 2 shutout innings, 2 hits, no walks, a strikeout. Carson Lambert, 1 shutout inning, 1 hit, and Jake Dowley, the 9th, 1 inning, 2 walks, a hit batter, and all zeros around that. Lambert, by the way, no hits and no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. 1 inning and 1 hit. Brandon McPherson, not one of his better outings, gave up 10 hits, the most he's allowed this year. Matches the most he's allowed this year, both times against Oakland. 4 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs all earned. That matches the most he's given up this year. Also did that August 10th in Northern Colorado. No walks, 6 strikeouts, a wild pitch, 2 homers allowed. Ethan Bates, 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts, a couple of wild pitches. And Reed Garland, 2 hitless innings, but 2 runs both earned, 4 walks, no strikeouts, a hit batter, and a wild pitch. Richardson, the Oakland winner, 6-0. McPherson, the Yolo lost 6-2. 3 hours, 1 minute this game took. And again, we do not announce the attendance. Oakland wins it 12-2, and we'll wait and see what Boise does tonight. If Boise wins, then neither of these teams clinch the playoffs yet. If Boise loses, both these teams get in. And now Oakland 1 game back, by the way. Yolo now 1 game back of Oakland for first, with after today now 4 games left in the regular season. So Oakland wins it 12-2. Let's set the scene for tomorrow. Back on Flow Sports and YouTube Live. We'll be at it at 4 o'clock Pacific time with both feeds. Right-hander Luke Short will pitch for Oakland at 2-0, ERA of 3 even, and for Yolo left-hander Brandon Mitchell at 5-2 with a 7.07 ERA. We look forward to having you join us. Great job as always by producer and director Mr. Michael Sapel, and everybody with the High Wheelers and all of you great fans for listening. Final score today: Oakland 12, Yolo 2. Doug Greenwald saying good afternoon from Dobbins Stadium.